What's up? Hey, hi, hello, and welcome. I'm the host of the Nightmare Shark 30, and I'm happy to have you. It's gonna be mostly chilling. We have some stuff to talk about. I got a lot of stuff pulled up for us to talk about. We're gonna chill here real quick. No, honestly, did I tell you guys? Did I tell you guys about how when I was like on the break? Oh, side check. Okay, thanks for letting me know, Peanut. Wait, give me a sec. Uno momento, okay. That should be freaking. I always forget this website. Right? This is. Give me a sec. I'm working on it. That's my stream element. I think that's on my stream elements. It's a stream again. It's nice to have you. What's going on? I gotta load up. My bot stopped working on stream elements, so I gotta lock in real quick. Oh, I gotta enter my code in, man. Come on, give me a break. Give me a break. Sure, remember this device for 30 days. You should do it more than 30 days, honestly, but you know, whatever, I guess. I want somebody to log into my Twitch account and accidentally and then start streaming their ball sack on my shit or something, I guess. Whatever, man. Let me in. I just want to change the cloudbot commands, that's all. My custom commands. Wait, is this not? Okay, wait. Apparently that's not it. Give me one sec. Wait. Is this on my Streamlabs then? I got 2 bots in chat running at all points in time. So apparently, I have to check both all the time. Log in. Please let me in, I'm begging you. I'm begging you to let me in. And then I should go to my Cloudbot. Oh yeah, Cloudbot is inactive. Boom. She should be active again. Do you think the Cloudbot is a she or a he? Or a they? Do you think they even have gender to begin with? Do you think we should gender our robots? What do you think? In the future, do you think we should gender our robots? You know how in fiction they give robots tits if they're girly or whatever? Do you think we should keep doing that? Or do you guys like it the trope of the main character's AI assistant being a girl with a fat ass and huge tits like Cortana, or do you think they should be like a hot guy with his bulge out, like shirtless? Or do you like the amorphous blob that pulses every time it speaks type of AI? Let me know. Yeah, this should be active. Commands. Yeah, all the commands should be active now. Give them a try. Okay, never mind. I'm a little quiet? Okay. Amorphous blobs are so hot right now. Okay, that's honestly really true. Test 1 2, test 1 2. Audio check. Test 1 2. Do I sound a little better? Are we up? Much better. Okay. Good. Is the bot working in Twitch chat? Whoops. I want the thing to be able to vibe. Hey, it's working. Perfect. Thank you. Now let me go into my admin. I do need to do one more thing, which is switch the platform to YouTube on the website. I need to raise my audio more. Test 1 2, test 1 2, test 1 2, audio check, test 1 2. Does it still need to go up? Wait, this seems a little loud. Test 1 2, test 1, test. That looks better. That seems better. Is this better? It looks better. I can't hear myself, but it looks better. It's very good. We're in very bueno territory. I guess it this, like, on the back of my microphone, like, there's a little knob, and I always think it's like either one way or the other way. I was streaming for years with this thing on the lowest gain possible, and I was always wondering why my microphone was so quiet. One day I just kind of flipped it and I just turned it up a little bit, and it just randomly fixed. I had no clue. Absolutely had no clue. I never touched these dials before. Maybe I should have started. Maybe I should have tried it. We're unavailable on the site? Holy, what's going on with the, I don't know. I'll have to find a way to fix that sometime. I'll have to find a way to fix that sometime, but should it be better now? I guess I should like type in chat just in case they can't see me, right? It's better? Okay. It looks like we're gonna be on, you guys are gonna be going through Twitch at the moment. Give the dog a treat. I gotta remove that. The dogs don't really come downstairs anymore. The dogs don't come to say hi anymore much. And it's mostly because of, I don't wanna pin anything on the GF, but a lot of it is because of the GF. She doesn't like it when the dogs leave dog fur down here a lot, so. I'm planning on getting one of those little robots, you know, one of those little like vacuuming robots down here to have it vacuum down here periodically, so the dogs can come downstairs a little bit more. That's the hope. So hopefully we'll be doing that soon. Great to see you. Nice to see you too. Hope you're doing well. Hello everyone. Chat, so have you guys, while we're chilling, you guys want to watch a little bit of Mario Kart World gameplay while we start the stream up here? And also, did I tell you guys about the time while I was like not streaming when I almost died? Because I remember that I was telling you guys some stories about stuff that happened while I was gone, but I don't think I told you about the time I almost died. Because while I wasn't streaming, I almost died. Yeah. I refuse to get another Nintendo console. I'm not getting it either until it either goes on sale or I can find one locally on like my Facebook marketplace for like, I'd say 350. I'd say 350. 300 would be great, honestly, but I'd say 350. I'm gonna be real. I don't want to spend more on my Nintendo Switch than I did on my Steam Deck, because the Steam Deck is simply better. Like, let's just be honest. Let's be real with ourselves here for a moment. Let's just talk about this with all seriousness. I don't want to spend more on the Switch than I did for the, I don't want to spend more on my Switch than I did for my Steam Deck, because the Steam Deck just kind of, it will just be better. It is just better, right? So that's just how it is, that to me personally. But was it your ass explosion that almost killed you? You remember that? You shouldn't remember that. But no, it wasn't my ass explosion that almost killed me. No, I think I'm fine because of that. No, it was when this was when I was I think this was back in January, either January or February. So my sister, I told you guys well, I've been an uncle for a little bit, but I have a nephew now. My little sister gave birth, and I have a little nephew now. His name is Raphael. He, her and her husband, her husbando and baby have been living with us for a while, and my brother-in-law, her husband now, is is working in another town, so he drives to be able to get there. So he drives basically every day when he's not working from home, and he has like this ability. I don't know how he does it. He has this ability to get lost, and he's really good at it when he drives. He's from Ohio, so maybe that has something to do with it. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm big unk now. I got three. I got three like nieces and nephews. That's like big unk status, isn't it? But I don't know. There's sometimes it's kind of crazy because I remember back in my high school that there were kids who were uncles, and I'm like, what the fuck do you mean you're an uncle? You're 15. Like, how does that work? But you know, it just, some families just get busy earlier than others, you know, I guess. But anyways, he's from Ohio, so maybe him getting lost has something to do with that. But he's very good at getting himself lost while driving. And so one time we actually had to try and get him because his signal, my sister couldn't find him on the highway. He said that he like was about to run out of gas or something, and so we were about to hop in the car and go grab him. And just the second we hopped in the car, he pulled up into the driveway and he was like, hey guys, I made it back. Didn't let us know that was happening, that he actually was able to make it back. But that was also because his phone died. He forgot to charge his phone, and he didn't have a charger in the phone. He didn't have a charger in the car to charge his phone either. So he was just to her, she was just missing somewhere on the highway in Kentucky in the middle of the night. And so we had to go try and find him. But thankfully he came back. But that was the first time he went missing. The second time he went missing was like a much bigger issue, because here in Kentucky, I'm not sure if you guys know, it's a big difference compared to a lot of other places. We don't live in like California, where it's continually getting drier and drier because of climate change. We're actually getting all of the rain that California isn't. So it's actually getting wetter here every single year. And that's on the surface. If you're a Californian, if you're from like Oregon and Washington, Nevada and Utah and whatnot, you would think that like, oh, badass, that's sick. Your ass is like, I haven't seen rain in 57 years. But listen, let me tell you, the rain isn't always great because it floods. We got hills and shit here. We got hills and mountains. And I can't tell you how many like buttfuck nowhere villages, and I'm gonna call them villages, okay? Because like they almost live in huts. Not to be a hater, like villages, all right, are in like the mountain ass cracks where like all the water collects. And it didn't used to be a problem because it didn't used to rain as much. But now that it does, there are like villages everywhere across the state that are just permanently underwater now. I remember I was driving back and forth Louisville to Lexington, mileage, and places, and like I was just driving on the road having a good time. I looked out my window and I was like, has there always been a lake there? And the answer is no, there wasn't always a lake there, because like the closer I looked, the more I saw that there was somebody's fucking house peeking up over it. And I was like, what the hell? Yes. So like there's a lot of places right now there that are just like, we have like probably 100 new lakes in this state now, simply because of how much flooding there is. It's kind of horrific, I'm gonna be real. And it happens almost every time it rains now. Like almost every single time it rains, it's so bad. Really undulate. That really is an incredible name. Thank you so much for the tier 1. Thank you so much for the tier 1. Wowzers for real. Also Kiwi TP. Thank you so much for the tier 2. Join the frenzy, being incredibly pog. I appreciate you. Thank you too for the site subs. I really appreciate you. And if you want to join the site, become a part of the Cool Kids chat and be a part of the chat on stream, type in !site on YouTube or Twitch. You can hop in. It's a pretty fun place. Hey, just got here. Hey, yeah, the flooding's getting really bad here. Yeah, in the UK too. Yeah, I can imagine. All you guys get is rain and clouds, right? So I can imagine any more and you all are just like kind of cooked. Oh, also, like we were watching some of this like Mario Kart World gameplay. Chat, what do you guys think about Mario Kart World so far? How's it look? I think this map looks cool. I'm gonna be real. I think some of the maps kind of look ass, and I'm not like, I like Mario Kart, but I'm not a Mario Kart fan like Nintendo heads are, because Mario Kart fans want like all the shitty maps from like 1998 to hop into the game, and I just don't think that I wish that they stopped putting old maps into the new games. And that may be a controversial take, unless because like, and the big reason why is because Nintendo has proven that they just don't upgrade those maps to fit with the new game much, right? Like if they did a new Mario Kart circuit, like if they did in the old like OG Mario Kart circuit, but then made it like cool and interesting and added a bunch of stuff to make it fit with the new games, then I'd be like, fine, whatever. But I'm just gonna be honest with you, like the Mario Kart circuit that's in Deluxe, I was like, what the fuck is this the first time I was playing the game? I've never played another Mario Kart before in my life, but I played Deluxe and I was like, what the hell are these garbage? Because you would have like Big Blue, all right? You got like Big Blue and you've got like a bunch of other really cool tracks in the game. And then you have like OG Mario Circuit. And it's just like, I don't even think it's like a good reprieve from like the more intensive tracks. It's just, they're just bad. They're simply just bad. And the only reason why people think they're good is because they used to be in a Mario Kart game. And I don't think that, I think they gotta stop that shit. In my opinion. There are a lot of returning tracks and they've been driving on a lot of returning tracks. And I don't know, the returning tracks just seem way worse than the newer tracks. Cause that like Bowser's Castle track that we just saw, epic. That looked really cool. Mario Kart, where you make 47 left turns on a dirt road. My ass can do that right now. I live in fucking Kentucky. If I wanted to drive my ass on a boring dirt road and pass by a lake once, like I can do that right now. I can hop into a car and do that literally right now. I could spend $50 in gas and then drive around. And honestly, I would get the same money worth. I'd make my money worth. Cringe. Anyways, but this was this was back in January or February, when back to the story when I almost died. And it rained. It got warmer and then it rained and then the next day it froze. And my brother-in-law was like, I want to go to work. He just felt like going to work that day. His boss even told him that he didn't need to go to work, but he just decided to go to work that day because he wanted to, and he had to take the highway to do it. So the roads were slick as I'll get out. It rained and then it froze and then it snowed, and so there was like snow on top of ice on top of black ice. It was a pretty horrific type of thing that was going on. And for people whose like houses flooded, they then flooded and then froze, and it was really bad. It was really horrific. Honestly, it was so bad. I felt so bad looking at those people's houses, right? But as he was going, okay, something horrible happened, and I want to switch scenes to me vibing at home, right? Talking to my therapist about like how I'm feeling. And I get a call from my mom and she was like, hey, you doing anything? And I'm like, not really at the moment, because I just finished up. And she was like, we're going to need your help so you can go get Gabe. That's his name, my brother-in-law, Gabe. And I was like, what do you mean? What's wrong with him? Because he just left for work. I just said see you later to him when he was like hopping out to go to work. And what happened to him, and mind you, this is like 7 a.m. or something. What happened to him is that as he was driving on the road, he started to slip and slide because the roads weren't completely taken care of yet. And his ass slid off of the road into a ditch on the side of the road. And then he was stuck. He couldn't get out anymore because it was like a slippery road and then like right off the section of like an off ramp. And then the car slid into this ditch. And since it was so icy and so snowy, he couldn't get back on. And the car was facing in the opposite direction on the highway too. And so we were like, damn, right? And so I had to hop in the car. I had to borrow another car that we had, a 4-wheel drive car, because the car that I normally drive is only 2-wheel drive, which is a death sentence for both of us, honestly. Love your stuff, bro. Yo, I appreciate that. Thank you. Love you too. Very parasocially. so I had to hop in like a 4-wheel drive car to go out there and try and get him, and I was going like 40 miles per hour, so it was going to take a second for that to happen. And as I was on my way there, I got another call, right? And that other call was that if I could speed up a little bit because he got hit by another car. So the place where he slid off the road was the same place where another person slid off the road, and then they slid off the road into his ass as he was like chilling waiting for me to get there to pick him up. Okay? And I was like, okay, this is dangerous. And as I was going, there were more cars littered on the side of the road. There was like foreshadowing. As I was on the road, there was literal foreshadowing about what was about to happen to me. Because like everywhere there was cars off the side of the road. There was people trying to get help. Some cars were simply just abandoned. It was a car graveyard, man. People standing on the side of the road. People then there were the ones speeding. Horrific stuff. This is incredible storytelling as I was on my way there, foreshadowing like Oda. And so I made it. So I finally made it there. And I see like the car that hit him like fell off the road in the same exact way he did. And then so he was facing, so his car, so okay, traffic is moving, let's say towards you. He was facing this way, like away, right? Because he slid off the road and then slid like this into the ditch. Another car did the exact same thing. So as he was facing this, he went and then fell back into him. So the car couldn't be taken out no matter if we wanted to or not, because now he's pinned up against another car, pinned up against an even lower part of the ditch. And so that wasn't going to work out at all. Right. And so I park on the side of the road. You know how when you have the you know how you have the what's it called? The like where you have an off ramp and then there's like the little area that's like boarded out where you're not supposed to be driving, where like the two roads split apart. There was somebody parked there helping those other two girls who were there, who like fell into the ditch, and I parked on the shoulder of the road because I needed to be able to get the car seat out, get him and his stuff out of the car and everything, and then like get him situated. And so while we were doing that, we were trying to figure out a way to get the baby seat in the car. And while this was all happening, I heard like a crash, clunk behind me. And I had no clue what was happening, right? Because I was busy like trying to figure out the geometry of fitting this like car seat. I was using my male brain because I'm a shape rotator by nature, okay? I used to do CAD modeling for my engineering classes, so I'm not really a word cell, even though my job is talking. I'm much more of a shape rotator in my head, in my heart. And so I was rotating this shape and I was using probably maximum amount of my brain power to go towards this. And so I barely noticed the sound of crunching metal behind me. And then my my brother-in-law like kind of jogs over and was like, "Chris, move behind you." And I was like, "Huh?" And I looked behind me, and I'd say not 30 feet behind me was a fucking car crash, a 2-person car crash on the side of the road. And one car, once again, was facing backwards right behind me. So I'm going to say, like, if we flip the coin like 20 times, that like maybe, and this was me, like I had the trunk open, so I was in the trunk of the car, so I was directly between like their car and my car as I was standing in the trunk. Well, I was standing in front of the trunk that was open. And so if we flipped the coin like 20 times, I would say definitely a couple of those times that car would have hit another car on the road and then slid into me, and then my ass would be sandwiched in between like those two cars or something. Or I would have broken my legs. So I would have like came back to you guys as like your legless streamer or something, or like I'd be my shit be broken in half. I don't know, but all I knew is that the second I saw that, I was like, we gotta get out of here, run. The second we both saw that, we looked at each other. It was like a sitcom event. We just threw everything in the car and we like booked it. We got out of there lickety split as soon as possible, because Just now, there have been 3 car crashes in this one area, and one almost hit me. One hit him, and the other one happened to him. One hit him, and then one almost hit me. And so I was like, we got to get out of here now. Pronto. Pronto, muchacho. Run. So we just throw everything in the car and we hop in, and I hit the fucking gas, and we had to get out of there. It was definitely a harrowing experience. I would not be happy. I'm not going to be excited for winter to come back this year. I'm going to be real with you. This place is freaking cursed, bro. Yeah, this thing is cursed. Things are getting scary. So yeah, I'm glad like winter is over, because yeah, I almost died, bro. I was almost cooked. It almost sounds like a Final Destination opening. Yeah, I did almost get Final Destination trying to save my brother-in-law. Yeah. I was doing everything I could for Brody, but like I don't know if I want to get back out there like that. We told him that he shouldn't go into work when he don't need to when it's snowing anymore, and he was like, you know what, fair. He was like, fairs. Oh, I don't want to be in a new movie. I wouldn't even watch it. I don't watch movies. I don't even like movies. Help me. Save me. All right. Do you guys want to watch some stuff? So there's definitely some stuff that we can get into. And I'll let you guys decide if you guys have any ideas of some stuff that you want to look at. So we have the South African president. What is his name?
Cyril Ramaphosa.
Cyril Ramaphosa, which I can't lie, it's a good ass name. It reminds me of Rome Bosphorus Hyrule, the first leader of Hyrule, the first ruler of Hyrule. Cool guy. Cyril Ramaphosa, the South African president, has come to talk to the white menace, the great white hope that is Donald Trump in the White House right now, to talk about his apparent genocide against white people in South Africa, I guess. Shark and Merrick stream. Yeah, I did see Merrick streamed a little bit. I was going to hop in. I hopped in the second the stream went live, but then I was sleepy and I put my head down for a second and I woke up and the stream was over. So that's what happened to me. I would have been able to say hi, but I didn't. That, you know, it just didn't work out for me like that. There's this from the BBC. UK, France, and Canada threaten Israel with sanctions. Finally, like, a lot of countries are starting to turn on Israel, but we can talk about Israel and them turning on, and a bunch of countries turning on Israel and whatnot as well. We can read an article about the Democrats trying to find their liberal Joe Rogan. I know everybody's very interested in that. I know that can go crazy. It's actually pretty interesting. I read some of the articles so far. And there's a bunch of other stuff that we could talk about too. Oh, before we get into that, yesterday, over the last 2 days, I was watching and listening to Hasan Pecker and Ethan Kleenex. Those two have their little debate about Israel and their issues with each other and whatnot. And I'm just gonna be honest, I had no clue what the hell was going on. This is the first time I had watched the debate, because I know it happened like 2 weeks ago, but I just kind of didn't give a shit. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna be so real with you. I did not know what was going on, and I honestly didn't really want to find out either. I did see that iDubbbz dropped a content cop on Ethan, and that got like 7 million views or something. I also didn't watch that either. But what like one of the first things that happened once I opened the debate was that they were debating Ichigo from Bleach's release Zanpakuto, his Bankai sword. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? What's going on? I was like, why the hell are they debating like Ichigo's sword? why are we talking about Ichigo's black Zanpakuto? Why is Zangetsu? I didn't know Zangetsu had anything to do with the fucking IDF. yeah, I was like, what the hell is happening? I was like, what the hell is going on, man? I was shook. I had no clue what was going on. And I mean, and I kind of still don't know what was going on. Chat, correct me if I'm wrong. I thought Ethan was bringing up that point about like Ichigo's sword. I thought he was bringing up Zangetsu because he was going to make an argument that Hasan is using the same logic for why he is Zionist, but when he feels like he's not, as like he would be using if he was calling Hasan a neo-Nazi for owning Zangetsu. But then, did he actually think that Zangetsu was a swastika sword, like a Nazi sword, like Hitler watched Bleach? Hitler's favorite anime from the big three was Bleach. Like, is that what he genuinely thought? Because I thought he was making like an argument, like he was going to be like, you see how this feels? That's how I feel when you say that I'm Zionist when like I'm not. But then if he was actually just genuinely like, why do you own the Nazi swastika sword? Is that what was actually happening? And then Hasan didn't actually know. He thought it was a dog whistle. I thought he was making a point. I thought he was going to be like, okay, I can see his point for why he feels this way. But no, he actually thought that it was like a dog whistle, like sword, like Zangetsu was like the Hitler youth sword. Maybe because Quincy's are Nazi coded. Okay, that's true. But the problem, yes, that's true. But lore wise, like his first Bankai sword, which is what that was, it had nothing to do with his Quincy powers. His Quincy powers yet, or his Quincy anything really. Buenos dias, Shork. Yo, Sam Sauce. Buenos dias. Hello, thank you for the 32 months in a row, remaining part of the frenzy. Being incredibly pog, I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. It was just you dunk on Hasan. I don't know. Does he really not know of their Buddha Hindu swastika, or is it completely different from a Nazi swastika? I think he knows that like the swastika is a taken symbol from Buddhism and Hinduism. What he was saying was that iDubbbz was picked that sword. He picked Zangetsu because it had a swastika on it, and he was like, hee Nazi. Hee. Which, I mean, listen, you can make that argument if you want. I don't think it really holds much water. I'm going to be honest with you. As somebody, as iDubbbz who has like a beef with like an actual Nazi, that being a fucking, what the fuck is his name? Is the guy that people, Sam Hyde? Yeah, Sam Hyde. But like I don't know. It's just that's just me personally. But I don't. It seemed a bit wild, honestly. And I don't know. I didn't like how either of them were arguing most of the debate. Yo, plus one me if I'm wrong, minus one me if I'm plus one me if I'm right, minus one me if I'm wrong. But I didn't like how either of them were arguing in this debate. I'm going to be honest with you. I think everyone lost in this debate. Like Hasan on like the Jew Arab tier list or whatever that was done. I don't know, like him kind of like being like, oh, I have no clue on like a lot of that type of stuff. Like, I don't think that was like anti-Semitic, like that like tier list, but it definitely looked weird. And it definitely was something that you shouldn't have done. Like I talked about this before when we were playing the crab game. Like if I was in the theory crafting room for that Twitch panel, I'd be like, hell no, hell no, put that shit down. Do not, do not do that. I'd be on my hands and knees like, do not even attempt this, because it just looks bad. It looks horrible. Even if if you just look at it, it just looks weird. It looks crazy, right? It just looks kind of crazy. And I just think it's kind of unfortunate on like the whole thing, because about the whole thing, because like a lot of their core beliefs about Israel and Palestine are very, very similar, in my personal opinion. It's weird that Twitch sanctioned it. I'm okay. I said this before, I'll say it again. I don't think Twitch should have given them nearly as much of like a penalty, because they sanctioned it. They told them that they could do this, and the only time when they felt like they shouldn't have done it was when they got blowback for it. You can't like they can't bring you an idea and then you say good idea and then people get mad and then you say actually bad idea. What the hell are you talking about? What the hell? What the helly? What the hellion? What the helly Bron James? What the helly Cyrus? That's what I think. That doesn't make any sense. Like, take some ownership for your bad decision making then. If that's the point, if that's what's going on, you told them they could do it and now you punish them for doing it. What? You said good job, guys, and now you're mad? Yeah, what the helly Barry? It just doesn't make any sense to me. It just seemed like throwing your content creators under the bus for your bad decision making, which is, I think, fucked up. But I don't think they should have done I don't think that should have been like an idea to begin with. I just don't think it was a good idea from the start, from the jump. And I think it's and I also, because like the reason for why and for why it looks so bad is because then people can make the assumption of what you think about like Jewish people is like negative, because like, you know, almost I mean in the thumbnail all the Jewish people were on the bottom half of the tier list, right? And is it just coincidence? Sure, yeah. And obviously though like Ethan and Ben Shapiro being on the bottom part of the tier list was obviously because of they disagree with certain points that they assume that they hold. But like it's just a really difficult thing to do in this type of environment that we're in. And I think if we're going to expend any political energy, like looking any bad, I think it should be saying that we shouldn't blow up children, right? And not expend it on like silly little tier lists personally. But that's just my opinion. That is just my opinion personally. That's my opinion. Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing was just kind of crazy. I didn't like I didn't finish it either. I got like 60% of the way through and I couldn't even finish it. It was just unfortunate the whole way through, really. There's no reasonable way to argue with Ethan. He's batshit insane. I don't really think so. No, I don't really think so. I think it's possible to. I'll talk about this in here in a moment. Nitros, thanks so much for the 50 bits. Another news during your absence, Shark. The Taints are most likely considered fugitives. Fresh and Fit are still declining. The latter may be closeted homophobe sexist. And multiple VTuber... Fresh and Fit are still declining. Oh, sick. And multiple VTuber drama and both Corpo and Indie... Oh, and GoFash lose cash holds up strong. Thanks for the 50. I appreciate you. It's good that Fresh and Fit are on the decline. Fuck those dweebs. Yeah, I mean, aren't the Tate brothers back in Romania? I know like a MAGA Romanian president tried to become a presidential candidate tried to win. He lost, thankfully. Who was saying that the Tate brothers should be able to go free, which is genuinely insane. I'm glad he lost. They're in Dubai. Oh, they're on the run. Really? I thought they were in Romania. I thought they went back to Romania. No, they're in Dubai. Oh, okay. So they are on the run. That judge definitely should not have lifted their travel restrictions, is what you're telling me. Of course they go to Dubai. Oh yeah, where like they can have slaves, of course. Where they can like assault women and have slaves. Why wouldn't they? Glad to hear they're on the run. I wish they were locked in a cage, personally, but if they're looking over their shoulder constantly, hoping not to get extradited back to Romania, I mean, I think that's good too. But there's no reasonable way to argue with him. I don't really think so. I don't really think so. I think in my opinion, because I remember a part of the debate, it was close to when I was about to turn it off. When Ethan said that he can understand why some people think he may be Zionist based on some of the things that he said in the past. And I was like, okay, that's a nice concession to make, honestly, because I think that's true. And I think if you don't use your words correctly, or if you like speak from passion without like quantifying what you're doing, like as content creators whose job is to speak, I think you can get yourself in trouble, especially when you have such a large audience. That you have to recognize sometimes that when you say certain things, that it can lead people to make certain inferences about you, even if you think it's a little unfair, even if you think that they should have known what you were saying. I mean, your words reach so many people. You just have to be cognizant of the things that you say and how they can affect other people and how they may interpret it, even like fairly, right? Of like a fair degree. Obviously, some people are going to be genuinely fucking insane. But I think Ethan made a good concession there, that he was like, yeah, I can see how people can think that. He said, I don't believe I am, but I believe I can understand how people can think that. But then he asked Hasan the same thing, like, do you think that it could be reasonable for people to like take some of the things that you've said like out of context that they've been shown and like make an inference that you may have some anti-Semitic tendencies to you? And he was like, absolutely not. And I was like, well, I haven't seen a lot of the stuff that either of them have said, but like I've seen, obviously, like on my timeline there are clips of both of them saying things that are pretty harsh, like out of context. And I think like I think you can, as somebody, if you don't know anything about these people and you just take that clip and then just like send it to somebody and you're like, what do you think about this person? That I think between like 30 and like, it depends on like the groups you ask, between 30 and 60. So we'll say like 45 to 50% would think that about like both of them. Right. And that's because of the things that they've said and how they've spoken about some of these issues in moments where maybe they were emotional, or maybe they were too hyperbolic, or maybe they said things that they actually believe that if you sat down and talked to them for a little bit, maybe they could like provide some more context to. But I don't think that's crazy, right? Like in my video when I was talking about all that drama that I was in like a year or two ago now. It's been like 2 years now, hasn't it? All those issues that I was in with all those other people from like Twitter and YouTube and everything. How I in my video I was like, I can see how you can look at this and be like, it was wrong to say that. And I was like, some of the things that I said were wrong. Here's why I said it, and here's why I believed what I said wasn't that big of an issue. But I can understand how you can think that this is wrong, and I can understand why you may think that I think certain ways and think certain things that I don't here because of that. And I think it's fair to say that, and it's good for like diffusing how other people feel about you in the situation, when you acknowledge how the things you can say can affect other people and how they can take it. But I don't know, like they just weren't getting through to each other much there. I disagreed with both of them on a lot of things in that debate, and I just didn't like it. It was very unfortunate, really very sad, very unfortunate. I watched a little bit of Sam Cedar and Ethan talking a bit as well, and I like that one more, but there's still some things that I didn't like too much in that either. He's done way too much. I just don't know what he did. Like I know they talked about some things, and some things I'm like, yeah, that's bad. Some things he walked back, some things he was standing on, and I was like, nah, that's cringe. I'm not sure. But once again, I haven't seen all the shit that they've talked about or done, so I guess I don't know like everything that they've done. But I only in the beginning of the debate where he was like, where he called what Israel was doing a genocide, In my opinion, I was like, maybe I should turn. After he said that, I was like, maybe I should turn this fucking stream off because that's all I really need to hear. Ask your thoughts on conflicts in general, or is conflicts like a fucking album or something? You mean conflicts as in like geopolitical conflicts around the world, or conflicts as in like there's like a there's a new fucking album that dropped or something? Because I know a little bit more about one than the other. It's okay. Can you just listen to about 48 hours of context on it to get the full context? Yeah, honestly, I'll have to do that soon. We'll have to do like a whole week of streaming listening to these two fucking 30-year-olds complain. Shark, are you pro or anti-conflict? Honestly, I know a lot of people out there are going to be like, oh, I'm anti-conflict. I think I'm pro-conflict. Depending on what the conflict is. I think I'm definitely pro-conflict. It depending on the situation. I don't take like a purely anti-conflict stance because sometimes we be conflicting and sometimes people need to be conflicted with. And I wish they would back down so we would do no conflicting, but if they don't, then our ass is going to be colliding. And there is going to be friction and there is going to be collisions in which some people may be calling conflicting because we may be having conflicting opinions on things. And so I have to say, honestly, I'm like, for one, it depends. But if it's, like a strict pro or anti-conflict, I think I'd say I'm pro-conflict, unfortunately. I think I'd say I have to say that. Because like sometimes my girlfriend is like, what do you want to eat for dinner today? And I'm like, I don't really know, but I'm kind of having this craving and that craving. I'm kind of feeling like maybe some like macaroni with like some blackened chicken on top would be kind of good. And she's like, can we have a flan? Can you make a flan again? I want to eat a flan for dinner. And I'm like, I tell her no. And we be conflicting and whatnot. Like, I wouldn't call it fighting, but there's definitely some tension there where I want to eat like an actual dinner and she wants to eat like a sugary sweet, like a sugary treat, when, like a sweet treat really do hate to see her coming. And we have to conflict in that area. We have to conflict there. And I just think that's unfortunate. But it's true. Are we in our hater arc this decade? Specifically about the Israel-Palestine conflict, sorry. It just like, what do I think about the whole issue, or like anything specific that's happened, or? Why not have a sweet treat for dessert? Because my ass hasn't eaten anything all day. And she hasn't either. And like, let's just be, women have sensitive gastrointestinal tracts. And I hate to be, I don't want to say this, because it comes from a place of love, but like women in general, and I don't know how or why, but just women in general as creatures have weak gastrointestinal tracts and have issues with their tummies. And that's an issue because she can't just be eating a bunch of sweets and get away with it and not, have tummy issues later. And then I'm going to have to deal with it because she's going to be sitting on the bathroom, blowing up the toilet like, babe, help me, my tummy hurts. And I'm like, my ass can't help you because I tried to help you 4 hours ago when I said that we should eat like a real meal and not a sweet treat. And that's just kind of how it is, unfortunately. Yeah, when will you learn that your actions have consequences? I didn't want this to happen to you, but you brought this upon your own tum-tum. and your suffering will be swift. Your punishment will be swift. I hope you enjoyed it. This was okay. Ethan. I don't know, like, okay, on Israel and Palestine, like, specifically, I think, I mean, in my personal opinion, on like the like moral aspect of the issue between the two nations, I think that like both sides have interesting aspects that need to be considered when we have this discussion. In my personal opinion, obviously the creation of Israel as a state is like incredibly, wildly unethical. Like we know this to be true. But Israel is here now, right? And so what should we do about this issue? And there's so much bad blood between both of these two people. And I can't even necessarily say like necessarily two people, but like these peoples, we'll say, in the region, like the Levant and like the, you know, extending it in like the areas around it, that I'm not really sure if there's like just one simple answer that we can have that would fix this issue, really. Which is why I'm still more on the side of like more of like a two-state solution, or in my personal opinion, a no-state solution, more than I am of like any one-state solution where people are literally just like a lot of people on the left are like just like no Israel and then just like have a Palestinian state specifically. I think it's more feasible and easier, and it would lead to less bloodshed to have more of like a no-state solution than like or a two-state solution than like a complete destruction of Israel as a state specifically. It's just been around and it's been too established, which is difficult, which is hard to say, but that's also kind of the nature of geopolitical conflicts. Honestly, I think there should be some concessions made about like when it comes to how we deal with this issue moving forward, and also the simple fact that we have to intervene to begin with is also very difficult, because now us who live 3,000 miles from the Levant, from the Mediterranean Sea, from like Bethlehem and Jerusalem and these areas, have to make a decision about how these other people will live. That's a very difficult thing to do, and that's honestly what's gotten us into this position to begin with, especially, which has led to a lot of conflicts in Africa as well. Like a force outside of the region coming in and making decisions about how people in a region should act and how their borders should be drawn is difficult. Even trying to fix a wrong is also difficult, which could also lead to more issues, which is very scary, which is something I'd rather not do. And so if I'm going to be personally honest, like my no state solution would honestly look a whole lot more like a place called like Israel Palestine or something, and like the capital being Jerusalem, and it being more of a nation that's controlled by like the UN, as like a massive peacekeeping organization that has like citizenship for like both Palestinians, and Palestinians and Israelis, and both Palestinians and Jews across the world have a right to return to that specific place, with houses being built, and then like trying to track homes to other people and people who don't have homes, to help stop some bloodshed, being able to build more homes in places, where work with families to have like the UN come in and like build homes and stuff like that, and its military and its borders being enforced by like an outside force, something like that, really. And it being like, and it itself being less like, you know, denuclearized for one, demilitarized, and also it mostly just being like, I hate to say how you would keep like a fucking national park, in my opinion, for how like a national park is kind of thought of, right? But more like a global national park type of thing, which would be like the home of like multiple religions, to help respect the area, which is one of the most important areas in the entire world, specifically because of its religious importance. In my opinion, that's just as like a layman, as somebody who's never been to the Levant and probably never will go to the area ever, and as somebody who has no power and who has like a limited understanding due to how I've just like grown up, not being there. That's my opinion for how I would kind of like the situation to kind of go, because the simple fact that there are borders, when there is borders, there will be conflict and there will be issues. And I think divvying up the land for like who can do what where is like a lot more difficult than like when there are borders, there is conflict. So honestly, we might just have to take away the fucking borders, like stop them from. They're just not allowed. You're just not allowed to have borders anymore. Like you've fucked it up, and you can't have borders anymore. Mom said it's my turn with the borders. You know what I mean? And just kind of and like just have it be kind of administered as like a religious area where like Palestinian diaspora and Jews as well can come back and live there. And there's like a government closer to like Lebanon's where there's like where there has to be proportional representation for both groups, just so because like Israelis will have more economic power in this situation, meaning that they will obviously have more political power in that area if there's going to be like one nation, obviously making Palestinians on the back foot, and obviously the like super racist religious extremist zealots and then whatnot in the Israeli of the Israeli people are going to like be able to move up the ranks and be able to cause more issues. So stopping them from doing that type of stuff would be good with like some proportional representation. And Lebanon's government isn't perfect, absolutely not, but there being like a constitution and you know, some things being able to happen and other things not, with both religions being with like not both, sorry, because there's like the Druze and everything, like with multiple religions being respected in the area. I don't agree the solution would work out IRL. I mean, because it's not taking into account how relationships are going to be damaged too much for too much of a thing to form, and how little power is involved, and be interested in that solution. I mean, like if we're just gonna be honest, like when it comes to like a solution that's going to work, do we really think that there's going to be a solution that's going to work here? What's actually, because if we're going to be super duper serious, what's probably going to happen is that Israel is going to kill another 100,000 Palestinians and take like at least 25% more land from both the West Bank and Gaza, and then just go back to another 10 years of just bombing them whenever the Israeli leaders' approval ratings get low. And like that's the most viable solution that we have at the moment, right? But that's obviously incredibly an immoral situation that's only going to lead to more suffering. So like what do we try to do outside of that is the real question. Yeah, your border privileges have been revoked. Because when it comes down to it, like even if there is another two-state solution, they're going to be warring with each other again. And it's such a unique situation because it's not simply just it's not simply just like a border issue or a nationality issue. It's like a religious issue as well. That I think that like the simple fact that there are borders in the region to begin with is what helps lead to the suffering that we see like today. So I just think like if you're going to ask me about my like real solution, there is like hold everybody who's like been involved in killing accountable and just give them life sentences, just throw them away, really. And the civilian population, the whole place needs to be in a re-education camp if we're just going to be real with each other. And they need to have their border rights taken away, and they need to be administered from the outside. They need an outside force administering their like laws as well. Yeah, so. Israel's gross tendencies touch more than just Palestine. I mean, you're talking about like the rest of the Middle East, and they're like the rest of their meddling in the Middle East. I mean, like Lebanon is, we know about that. Your solution sounds like some Star Trek lore. I mean, like, I think we have to think a little bit outside the box. If this world were mine, because everything else just isn't going to work. I just don't think it's really going to work. Like we can hope that it's going to work, but these groups are just going to get back to bombing each other, because it's way more than just a national issue. Even national issues can boil over for hundreds of years. This is a religious issue as well. Like there are just way too many. You just can't lock off one of the most important religious sites behind borders like this. It's just not really possible. It's just not really feasible. It's just not feasible. Yeah, that's why I said like Palestinians should be like in this area. If there was like some sort of like no state solution, that if there was like some stateless solution, that like Palestinians, was like 400,000 Palestinian diaspora would have the right to come back to the area. Homes would be built, jobs would be granted, medicine would be doled out, you know, respects to the dead, rebuilding, like a whole global project of rebuilding and revitalizing this place to where they will not war anymore. I think that would be much better. Holding the Israeli the Israeli a government military agents who are responsible for the genocide be put in jail for life, right? So that's my personal opinion if you're going to ask me. Yeah, have it. Yeah, like in this ideal scenario, in my personal opinion, like Christian, Jews, and Muslims will have like just be able to freely move about the area as a no state solution. It's a place where people can live, people can build houses and whatnot. It has like a constitution. It has like a representative government. Because even though there, I think, unfortunately, there will have to be like some lack of specific autonomy. Like they won't be able to vote for like Hitler 2.0 for either group, right? They won't be able to do that. Like that shit will be revoked, but they will be able to have. I think it can be made up with like no more wars and killing and like more self-determination. I think that could make up with some of the heavy blows when it comes to both groups. And I think, and how this would be administered would be like the US sends fucking ships to blockade the entire area. And then we pay off like Egypt and Syria, and Jordan, just to like not let anything through. And then we just like keep up a blockade until they say, okay. Just hold the entire place hostage until they agree. Like no one comes in, no one comes out. whole place is just simply locked down until they say yeah. From like the air, the sea, the land, everything. Just put up one big fence until they agree. And then, you know, the re-education needs to start. Because there's just too much hate. There's just simply too much hate. So like that, the schooling system needs like a huge workaround. Steven Crowder just said the N-word on Piers Morgan's show. Yo, what? Was it small a or ER? Oh, here we go. Apparently his divorce really isn't going well, huh? Gradual integration is easy for us to talk about because we're not the ones starving. Yeah, that's true. But like Palestinians are going to have to like live next to Israelis and Jewish people. And we don't want anybody being bombed. So like no one's saying this is easy. Like nothing when it comes to this conflict is going to be easy. Only the dumbest among us think that like anything when it comes to anything that'll come anywhere close to like a solution for this conflict is going to be easy. It's obviously going to be very hard and generational. It's going to be generational, but like I think it should be done. I don't think this is going to be easy. I think it should be done. And those are two different things. Yeah, they need to be sent to The Hague. Very obvious. Very true. Thank you for streaming again. Actually, yeah, I mean, take care. Yeah, very, 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 very true. Perfect is the poison of good enough. There isn't going to be a perfect solution, so let's be honest. You should try to let the UN and international bodies grow gradual integration. Yeah, I think like the whole like land, sea, air blockade until they like forcefully agree denuclearize the place, no state, and have like create like a new UN body that is like the overseeing government of the area. Yeah, like let's yeah. Something's got to be done. Yeah. Yeah, we don't want like Israeli extremists blowing up like mosques, and we don't want like Palestinian extremists blowing up like synagogues. So yeah, it's good. Simply it will have to happen. Not easy, but simply will have to happen. I mean, I want to watch this video of the South African president visiting the White House, because from what I've seen, this shit looks insane. This looks really crazy. So, I mean, you guys have known, Trump is trying to get as many brown people out of the country as humanly possible, by trying to send people to the El Salvadorian slave prison. Even if they're not El Salvadorian, Venezuelans are going there. Some Mexicans are going there as well. Even the ones that haven't committed any crimes whatsoever, but that's something to talk about for a little bit. But he has found an immigrant that he does like for once, and that is white South Africans. He has granted he has granted temporary protected status for white South Africans who he says is subject to genocide. They're being killed in the streets for their beautiful farms, when those blacks in South Africa don't even know what farming is. And so because of this back and forth and claiming that South Africa is the perpetrator of white genocide without putting any other sanctions on top of South Africa at all, I guess it's just like a silly genocide that we only play up for political points. He has invited the South African president the South African white genocide king to the White House to have a little talk about all this going on. I just want to see what's going on. Yeah, you think apartheid Clyde put him up to it? I know Elon's mostly out of the White House now, but you know he had something to do with this. You know that.
He said, I want to come over and see you. And that was my honor, and thank you very much for being here.
You're most welcome.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much for welcoming us to this reformed White House. I've been here before, and it looks really fantastic. I must congratulate you.
Thank you.
But I also thank you for allowing our delegation. This is a very mixed delegation that you've got. We've got people from government, my ministers. I've got someone from the trade union movement who we really collaborate with, and from business as well, and our sporting legends. When I spoke to you, you said, yes, come along and bring Gary Player, bring Eddie Els and Retief Goosen. I brought the two of them. Gary Player, I spoke to him, and he said, look, I'm getting rather on in my years, but wishes us luck in this discussion with you. So it's a real joy, and I'd also like to thank you for allowing your people to start discussions with us at the trade level. I mean, we are essentially here to reset the relationship between the United States and South Africa. We are long-standing partners in many ways. We've collaborated in many fields, in space issues, in energy, and in trade.
You know, this is the first time Trump is ever hearing this shit.
Reset that.
He's nodding his head like, yeah, okay.
Of some of the announcements that you made on trade and investment. Right. So we want to advance more trade between the two of us, two countries, and our people now have been empowered by yourself and by myself to start engaging, and we hope that we will be able to fuel that engagement during our talks. And we also want to discuss issues that have to do with how we promote further investments in both countries. We've got about 22 companies from South Africa that have invested in the US, thus creating a number of jobs. And similarly, you've got almost 600 companies that have invested in South Africa, and some of them have been in South Africa for more than 100 years.
That's true.
So our links are really long-lasting. And
that's true, he says.
Recalibrate those relations between our two countries and discuss a whole range of issues, geopolitical, the work that you're doing to bring peace around the world, in Ukraine and in the Middle East. So we value that, and we are also a great contributor to peace processes that are going on around the world. And of course, we want to discuss how we can support each other. You are a much bigger economy than we are. We're just a tiny economy, but we rely on each other on a number of issues. We've got critical minerals that you want to fuel the growth of your own economy and reindustrialize. So we have that on offer, including rare earth minerals. So all that combination of opportunity and the products that we buy from you, as well as what we sell to you, I believe makes up a really good and powerful relationship, which we need to strengthen, which we need to engender. And that is really what has brought us here. And we are really privileged to have, great South Africans in the mix. As you said, you'd like to see them as well. And I brought you a really fantastic golf book. Weighs 14 kilograms.
Oh, that sounds good.
And it showcases the golf courses in our country. Johan Rupert wrote preface, so did Annie Els. And I want to showcase our golf courses. You might remember when I spoke to you, and we spoke about golf, you said I should start practicing. And I've started practicing, President, so I'm ready. But let me end just the introductory remarks by thanking you. You may not recall that 5 years ago I spoke to you during the COVID period.
Right.
And it was a time when the whole world was going through a really cathartic moment. Right. And we asked for assistance, and you were able to assist us with respirators, and you kept to your word, and you delivered respirators to us. We didn't have as many in our country, and it really helped to deal.
Anarcho communist, thank you so much for columnist. Thank you so much for the 8 raid. Hello, Raiders. What's going on? We're watching the King of White Genocide talk to the Great White Hope right now. South African president decided to visit Trump after he said that he was killing all the white people in the country. So I guess we'll just see how it's going. What's up, Cross? Nice to see you. Welcome back, King. And get dyslexia trapped by my name. It is actually like, your name is actually pretty fucking ableist if you think about it. Like, you specifically crafted your name to fuck with us with like slight dyslexia. And honestly, I like it. I like it. It kind of reminds me that it kind of gives me bad memories though of when I was in school and I would mix up my A's and B's. Remember, I would mix up my B's and D's and A's and U's every now and again when I was speaking and when I was looking at the letters. So it does kind of give me, you know, it does give me like incredible anxiety, like small bursts of incredible anxiety. It's like I'm being hit with paintballs of mental illness every time you do it to me. But I kind of appreciate that. It kind of mixes up it adds a little spice to life. You know what I mean? So I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Thanks for the raid. Well, there was something that Crystalline Fluidity said. I can't agree because of what I've seen on the Palestinian side. Like, America shouldn't have a place in the conflict, but they're an oppressed civilian population being slaughtered unduly because the interests of America have been empowered by. Yeah, I mean, I think that the US should have a place in like finishing the conflict because we helped facilitate it. And so we need to put in like quadruple the money that we gave to Israel, just period, into like rebuilding Palestinian lives, and obviously for like money given to the families of those affected of what we've done. So I think that's also part of it, and also simply because we have a lot of sway over Israel as well, and also because our military is so big that we could help. Not that we can help threaten to get Israel to stop, if anybody actually had the balls to do what has to be done, if we're going to be honest. So I think that's one of the reasons why. And we're still, for now, reasonably respected on international issues. So I think like the fact that we're in the mix and we can throw some weight around and we can throw some money to some people to get them to shut up or go along with certain issues is also important. That's just not something that the EU can do as readily, or like South American countries can do as readily, but we can. And China is not going to be doing too much, but we can. Glad you're back. I'm glad to have you. Nice to see you. Are you Percy Jackson's shark? No, my dad has one wife.
To help us deal with COVID. So I'm here also to say thank you and to thank the people of America for having helped us during a really difficult time. Being the small economy that we are, we needed help from around the world. And you were there to provide that. So thank you very much.
I remember the call.
Yeah.
We sent 150 respirators. We became the respirator king. We started making them. Nobody had them. We had very few of them.
That's right.
But they were very helpful. But we sent 150, and I appreciated the letter you wrote me.
That's right. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much.
Thank you very much for that. It really touched my heart after I spoke to you and you delivered. So,
great honor.
Thank you very much indeed. Yeah.
Any questions, please?
Mr. President, you welcome white Afrikaner refugees here. Can you explain to Americans why it's appropriate to welcome white Afrikaners here when other refugees like Afghans, Venezuelans, Haitians have all had their protected status revoked.
Well, this is a group, NBC, that is truly fake news. They ask a lot of questions in a very pointed way. They're not questions.
Is he speaking to Is he speaking to Ramaphosa like that? Is he like dude, check these? I'm not sure if you guys have this in your country, but we call this fake news. That's NB. We hate them, dude. They fucking suck, dude. They always say shit like this, man. Like, yeah, they're called. Okay, so those guys, just so you know, like they're trying to make me look bad, but I'm really cool. You know that, right? And so like they suck, and they always are trying to make me look bad, but I'm like, dude, you're a fake. I want to see his face. I want to see Cyril's face.
We've had tremendous complaints about Africa, about other countries too, from people.
Wait, what?
Complaints, they're not questions, they're statements. We've had tremendous complaints about Africa, about other countries too.
My favorite chat, what's your favorite African country? Mine is Africa.
From people. They say there's a lot of bad things going on in Africa, and that's what we're going to be discussing today.
I hate when bad things happen in Africa.
You say we don't take others. All you have to do is take a look at the southern border. We let 21 million people come through our border, totally unchecked, totally unvetted. They came from all over the world. In many cases, they're criminals. They come from prisons. They come from mental institutions. They come from street gangs. They're drug dealers. So don't say that we didn't take them. We're trying to get them out as fast as we can. And we're doing record business on that. And we just won a big case where we're allowed to send back hundreds of criminals to Venezuela. Just won that today in the Supreme Court. I'm happy to hear. But we do have a lot of...
I want to talk about that a little bit. What he's referring to, if you guys don't know, is that the Supreme Court allowed Trump to end temporary protected status, TPS, for 350,000 Venezuelans who live in the country. Many, obviously, in Florida. I think 250,000 actually live in Florida, because like everybody from south of the border lives in either Florida or Texas, apparently. And right now, it sends shockwaves through the Venezuelan community in the country, because what that means is people who are here on TPA who had like driver's license, who had work visas, who are sending their kids to school, things along those lines, are now have all of that documentation that has them in the country legally and allowed them to work, contribute to the country, and have functioning lives here in the States. It's just expired. It's all just like expired. Imagine if like your social security number, your driver's license, your like ability to work, your birth certificate, all of that expired just one day. You woke up and all that shit was expired, just period, gone, just like that. That's what happens. That is what happened to about 350,000 Venezuelans in the country overnight, a couple of days ago at the moment. And it's really crazy, and it's really messing with a lot of people's lives. And it's horrific as well, because Trump has said that Venezuela is not a place where you should be able to get temporary protected status at the moment. And that is wrong. And that has ruined a lot of these people's lives. Many of those people even supported Trump, even though they couldn't vote for him. There was a bunch of Venezuelans that came out during the election, and like Venezuelans are very close to Cubans when it comes to their thoughts about politics in this country. A lot of them who can vote are vote Republican. A lot of them who can't vote try to get other people to vote Republican. There are many Venezuelan people and immigrants who came to cop for Trump when he was running in the election, especially when he was like doing stuff in Florida and in a lot of those other like southern states. And to say that it blew up in their face is honestly an understatement, because now he wants to send them. It's not even simply being deported. He now wants to send them to a slave prison in a country that they've never been to before, just randomly, right? He's right now he sent 50 Venezuelans who have never committed a single crime in this country, period. He's already sent 50 to that slave prison in El Salvador. He sent other Venezuelans and other immigrants to South Sudan. Just imagine you speak fucking Spanish and then you get airdropped in South Sudan. Like, he's actively just trying to kill these people. If I'm just gonna be honest, if we're just gonna be real with each other here, and yeah, it's some pretty horrific stuff going on. So now 350,000 more of those Venezuelans are going to be subject to being put in a slave camp or randomly sent to fucking South Sudan or whatever other country. Maybe some are gonna get dropped in Mongolia with no way to return either. It's like a horror story.
A lot of people are very concerned with regard to South Africa, and that's really the purpose of the meeting, and we'll see how that turns out. But we have many people that feel they're being persecuted, and they're coming to the United States. So we take from many locations if we feel there's persecution or genocide going on. And we had a lot of people. I must tell you, Mr. President, we have had a tremendous number of people, especially since...
Is he implying the 21 million who came here were also on TPA or something?
And they're fleeing South Africa. And
that 21 million.
It's a very sad thing to see. But I hope we can have an explanation of that, because I know you don't want that.
He's looking at him like, what the fuck?
You know, it's a kind of a different meeting. Normally we have meetings, we talk about trade, and we'll be talking about trade and other things. But that certainly will be a subject that comes up, yeah. Yes, please.
Brian? Thank you very much. I'd like to get your thoughts on Letitia James, Director Tate. According to him, Letitia James says that the alleged...
I want to skip forward on some of this.
Yes. The wrong number of units, she had a much different number. Well, I want to see peace, and I want to see happiness, I want to see health.
Celebration of Africa Day, which pretty much a lot of celebration will be taking place around the world, including here in the United States.
Wait, is this real? Chet, did you know that there's a Skibidi Toilet movie coming out? Is this a joke? Skibidi Toilet, directed by Michael Bay. When I started streaming again, I stopped using Twitter. Maybe I should stop using Twitter again. Unfortunately, it's real. Skibidi Toilet, directed by Michael Bay, sounds exactly like a meme. That sounds like a joke. It sounds like a joke that I would hear somebody say, but it's real. Teaser for Skibidi Toilet by Michael Bay. Thought about killing myself. Ding. Now this is exactly what we needed in the big 25. I was just thinking about how I haven't seen Skibidi Toilet in a while. I'm glad it's back. There's going to be at least 3 shots of somebody's feet sticking out of toilets. Honestly, I wasn't interested in the movie until you said that. You're telling me, wait, is Michael Bay a foot freak? Is that true, chat? Is he like Dan Schneider, except less pedophilic? Because I have no clue what the hell's happening. No, that's Tarantino. Oh yeah, Quentin Tarantino. Yeah, I heard people say that Quentin Tarantino is like a foot freak. Yeah, I've heard people say that. I heard he likes feet. He also loves having white actors say the N-word to black actors, right? He's the one who's directed all the slave movies, right? He loves toes and slaves, as far as I know, from what I've heard people say on the internet, which, you know, is usually correct. Mm. Oh yeah, he was the director who had like an actress stick her piggly wigglies into his mouth, right? Like he stuck his toes into his mouth. He was like, fuck, and then she just puts her fucking feet in my mouth and I lick up my slurper. Yes, this is art.
What is your message to the entire African continent, African people in this important occasion?
Well, I want to see peace, and I want to see happiness. I want to see health, and you have incredible land. There's tremendous value. A lot of countries don't have that value in the land. The value you have. We have a situation. I think you probably heard about it. We've done through some very talented people helped settle a war that's been raging for years, Rwanda and the Congo, and I think we've done it. Believe it or not, I think we've done it. And could you just say a few words about that, my friend?
Yes. A couple of weeks ago, the two parties signed a declaration of principles in which they agreed on the way forward. And they have both submitted draft peace agreements, and we have put together one that incorporates both of their suggestions, and we've given it to them. So we're in the process of finalizing
Looking
this.
good, right?
Looking very good.
Oh my gosh, the egg is here. Stephen Miller. I didn't know he was here too. Hegseth is here. Oh fuck.
SADC, our Southern African Development Community, has for years been seeking to foster peace in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. So all efforts.
People there.
I want to skip forward to some of the meteor stuff.
Very good job,
Meteor,
my friend, and that was great. That was great. I mean, we settled that whole thing, and I think I settled it through trade. We're doing a big deal with India. We're doing a big deal with Pakistan, and they said, "What are you guys doing?" Somebody had to be the last one to shoot, but the shooting was getting worse and worse, bigger and bigger, deeper and deeper into the countries.
oh my gosh, they were getting chat anybody up getting bigger and deeper.
There's something good. We're trying to settle Russia, Ukraine.
South Africa, that's when I spoke to you.
That's right.
We both agreed that we need to push the peace message.
What the hell is he doing in South Africa?
He was talking to us.
I called Zelensky, and they said,
basis and sit down and talk. And that's precisely what I'm sure he's going to heed.
well, we'll see what happens with that one.
He just keeps fucking yapping, man.
There's a lot of death. It's a bloodbath.
It is. Unfortunately.
I get the satellite pictures of that field. I don't expect anything, to be honest. I really don't. I don't know. They've got cases, a lot of anger there, tremendous anger. I don't expect anything. We'll see what happens. We'll have a ruling, and who knows what the ruling is going to mean. Yeah.
On that subject of Gaza, Mr. President, are you going to be speaking to Prime Minister Netanyahu about Israel's renewed offensive there? There's been a lot of concern from European countries. The Pope has expressed concern. Are you going to be asking Prime Minister Netanyahu to tone down the offensive?
My Krog, thanks so much for the tier 1. Join the friends, be incredibly pog. Welcome back, buddy. OMG, my favorite leftist streamer is back. So glad to catch you live again, man. Yo, what's good? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for the sub. Hope you've been doing well. Sorry for being gone for so long. I should be live today, tomorrow, and the next day through the rest of the week. And that's a promise, big promise. I was planning some stuff to talk about, and trying to get some stuff back together. Again, I had to like get up on my streams of how I find content and things to talk about. I have a couple segments coming up here in a little bit. Oh, my back. I have a couple segments of things I want to talk about here in a little bit. I have a segment of, and you guys tell me, because I've been planning a little bit of a segment of what's wrong with airlines and planes in the country. So like there's the big issue with what's going on in like the New Jersey airport, how the New Jersey airport just keeps shutting down, like the Newark airport just keeps shutting down. I remember at the beginning of the year how a bunch of planes were just falling out of the sky. I was thinking about putting a segment together on that specifically. Tell me if you guys think that's interesting, because I was planning it, but then I was like, I'm not sure if I should just cut it or not, or maybe I should just do it and then just like to see how you all like it. I'm seeing. I have a segment I'm putting together about Trump's big Medicare cut bill. One of the largest wealth distributions from the poor to the rich in the country's history is what he's planning. Sounds interesting? Okay. Okay, we'll work on it. I'll finish it then, because I haven't finished it, but we'll finish it then. You know what I want to do? I have a segment that I haven't figured out exactly everything that I want to put in it yet, but I wanted to call a segment Donald Trump had his jobs taken by an immigrant, and it being about Elon Musk's rise and fall in the Trump White House. I was really thinking about that. This guy's been missing for months. Yo, that's me. My ass has been gone. I almost died twice, but you know, as it goes, that's how it is. How it is. And I like that. I was like, oh, his job taking my immigrants. Shit sounds so good. Apartheid Clyde. Ooh, group chats. I'm not sure if you guys have like known this or if you know anybody who's talking about it, who's talked about it, but like if you like, I personally feel after covering conservatives, like they've become more coordinated and more crazy recently, especially in 2025. Like it's been, especially in 2024, like it really turned up. And I was wondering what has been going on, especially with the kickoff of Trump's campaign again and him being in office. I can only imagine it's going to get worse. But like all of the craziest conservatives that you know, if you're wondering why, because they've been like back and forth, they've been at each other's throats for this and that a lot. If you're wondering why all of this is happening, a lot of it is because of group chats. Like a lot of these crazy conservatives are in like 17 group chats with other right-wing content creators, YouTubers, radio hosts, podcasters, politicians, bureaucrats, judges, just like hooligans on the street who made a name for themselves. Like these people are like bouncing between like 10 trillion group chats, talking shit about each other, jumping in some, leaving some. Some got leaked, right? Like some of these people, if you're wondering what some of these like conservatives in Trump's administration are doing on their phone, I promise you, like there's a 9 out of 10 chance that they're typing in one of their group chats, really, because a reporter was in like Trump's inauguration, and he was like hanging around some of the right-wing content, some of the content creators who got invited, some of the right-wing just like personalities who were there, and almost all of them were talking to like other conservatives in a group chat. Like these people are addicted. Like this guy was on WhatsApp. I forgot what his name was. He was on WhatsApp and he accidentally opened it while he was there, and the reporter looked over his shoulder. His ass was in like 20 group chats. He was scrolling through them with like a bunch of other people in there. Tucker Carlson was in one. Steven Crowder is in some. Pete Hegseth, obviously, because he leaked like Yemen bombing instructions in a group chat once. Like these people are bombing other countries and talking about it in group chats. It's crazy. Are you talking about Signalgate? It goes way further than Signalgate. Signalgate is honestly just like a glimpse into the right-wing group chat microcosm that is formed, right? Like when these people are banned off of like social media platforms, honestly. And I was wondering how, because like if you guys realize, because I've talked about it before, and I'm not sure if you guys have realized, like when something happens on Twitter with like a right-wing personality or YouTube, some fucking politician is talking about it now. JD Vance knew about how some random YouTubers were getting banned, right? Like he went to the UN to talk about how YouTubers get banned for saying the N-word. And I was like, how does he even know about this type of stuff? And the reason why is because JD Vance, we got a glimpse into that, how he was in a group chat with a bunch of like 17-year-old boys who watch Ben Shapiro and Steven Crowder, and they were teaching him what based and epic was. And that was also just a glimpse into this like secret group chat world that conservatives have formed for themselves. It's so interesting and it's so crazy. And it's why Ron DeSantis knew that libs of TikTok got banned off of Twitter for like 3 hours. Right? That's how he knew. That's how he was able to get like Rachel. I forgot her name. Chaya Raichik. That's her name. how he was able to get like Chaya Raichik, the woman behind like the Libs of TikTok Twitter account. That's how he was able to invite her to live at the governor's mansion in Tallahassee. After she got like, after her name became like super public, because it was already public. When it became super public on Twitter, he was like, "Don't worry, Twitter user. If you need, you can live in my governor's mansion." I was like, how the fuck do you even know this shit? It's group chats. It's group chats. They have their minions, all right, who watch this type of shit, and then they type about it in the group chat, and then governors and the president now knows about it. That's how it happens. It's wild. Raya Chai Kick, yeah. Yeah, and the woman who made millions of dollars, yeah, $1 million by saying slurs at children. Yeah. That recently too. That also popped off in these group chats too, yeah. My mommy, I mean my wife. The manifesto video, and he said that he has connections to guys that know Peter Thiel, and that he is in 50 conservative group chats. How do you even keep up with this many group chats? I knew, chat, let me know. Are you guys in a bunch of group chats? Are you? Because I'm not. Like, I have a group chat for my family, and I was just added into there by my mother. There's like my family group chat that my mother runs. And then I have a group chat with my friends. I have like 2 friend group chats, really. One with like my boys, and then there are like some girls that I knew, that I like became friends with all together, and then they put me in a group chat with them too. So I'm in like 3 group chats, and 2 are like one is my family one, and like 2 others are like my friends. I guess I don't have a job compared to you guys. So I'm not really in a job group chat. There was like a group chat of other like left-wing creators that was around like 2 years ago or something. Shuanhead was actually in there too. I wasn't in there much. There was like another group chat on like Twitter that that get added into every now and again, because they're like prominent members of the community who are of like communities and like on Twitter and stuff, and they add like other creators into a group chat. They just talk and shoot the shit and shit like that. And I didn't really talk in there, but I was in there, and sometimes I looked at some of the stuff that they said. I muted all notifications on my on Twitter on my phone now, so now I don't get like, you know how you get pop-ups. I disabled all pop-ups on Twitter, so if I'm not on Twitter, I don't know what's going on Twitter, which is nice for me personally. But I'm not in group chats like these people. Like, and honestly, I think that kind of proves what's wrong with them. Because no way you can be in 50 group chats and be a sane human being. You can't. You're not. It's not possible. It's not possible. I'm in like 10 group chats where they all have like the same people. I think that's like the same with these guys. Is that they're in like 50 group chats, and it's all group chats of just about the same people, but like a couple people here and there are added that aren't in the other ones. It's so scary.
Was that a question or a statement? This guy's never changed.
Mr. President, what would it take for you to be convinced that there's no white genocide in South Africa?
Well, I can answer that for the president. It's, here we go. I'm going to answer that.
Our president will respond to you. Thank you, Mr. President.
It will take President Trump listening to the voices of South Africans, some of whom are his good friends, like those who are here. When we have talks between us on the quiet table, it will take President Trump to listen to them. I'm not going to be repeating what I've been saying. I would say if there was Afrikaner farmer genocide, I can bet you these 3 gentlemen would not be here, including my Minister of Agriculture. He would not be with me.
He's tweaking in his seat. He's angry.
Trump listening to their stories, to their perspective. That is the answer to your question.
But, Mr. President, I must say that we have, wait. We have thousands of stories talking about it. And we have documentaries, we have news.
Documentaries.
Is Natalie here? Somebody here to turn that? I could show you a couple of things, and I have to, it has to be responded to.
Yeah, sure.
Let me see the articles, please, if you would. And turn the lights down. Turn the lights down, and just put this.
Oh, is he bringing up the Elmo? Are we going to have like a little Elmo discussion now? Like, bro's cackling. Wait, is there like a little project? Wait, is it like in school when your teacher was out and they roll out the CRT TV on like the little like roller with wheels? About to plug it in, it's got like the DVDs in it. You're like, have you seen this?
Johan, it's right behind you. Johan.
There's nothing this parliament can do. With or without you, people are going to occupy land. We require no permission from you, from the president.
What the fuck is happening?
We don't care. We can do whatever you want to do. Who are you to tell us whether we can occupy land or not? We are going to occupy land. South Africa occupy land. That's who we are. We can withdraw my membership from this useless parliament.
Must never be scared to kill. A revolution demands that at some point there must be killing, because the killing is part of a revolutionary act. Shoot to kill. Gaza. Kill the poor, the farmer. Kill the poor, the farmer.
I didn't think we were gonna hear the brr pa in the White House. Crazy. Now, the thing is, even if all of this is true, you could say the same exact shit about the US. But I don't think Trump's gonna be like, there's like a black genocide going on, but maybe he should. The brightness? Yeah, the brightness is crazy right now. Brightness is crazy right now. Yeah, like there's a lot of interracial strife in South Africa. Okay. Are white people being killed in mass? No.
The mayor of DAE is a white man. So these people, when you want to hit them hard, go after a white man. They feel a terrible pain because you attack a white man. Not because Mashaba and Suri will not be touched. They will be touched, no one. But we are starting with this whiteness. We are cutting the throat of whiteness. Shoot, kill, Yamasa, kill the brewer, the farmer, kill the brewer, the farmer. Shoot to kill, Yamasa, kill the brewer, the farmer.
This is so awkward. Yeah, isn't Cyril? I forget the name of the because the person who's speaking right now is the leader of a political party in South Africa, but it's a minor political party, and they don't have. Well, they have like 7 seats in Parliament or something in Congress, or is there more than that? It's like 30 or something. I forget exactly the number. But he's like the leader of black South African like liberation type party, and he's pretty hard with it. So I don't even think Cyril. I think Cyril doesn't like this guy. I think they have like he's the leader of an opposition party, isn't he? Hey, don't you think you're radical? Like what's Trump gonna ask? Don't you think you're meanwhile Trump is literally using a death camp in El Salvador to try to send political opponents, right?
I'm saying to you, was not called for the killing of white people, at least for now. I can't guarantee the future.
Yeah, I mean, you don't understand somebody watching that, especially as it gets shared on Twitter. They freak out. It sounds like a genocide on Twitter.
I can't take
it. He looks so uncomfortable. Yeah, because he probably doesn't want to be associated with like his political opponent here. Yeah. I would imagine. We'll have to see what goes on after this. Because I know Trump's gonna be like, look, didn't you see that? You're killing so many white people. Wait, my mic? Wait, what's wrong? Your gain? Test 1, 2. Is this better? I didn't even touch the gain knob. It's a little bit too gainy. How about now? Is it test 1, 2? Is this better now? 1, 2, 1, 2. Still? Better? It's getting better. Quieter but still gainy. What? I didn't change anything. I didn't touch anything. We were just sitting here. Oh man, what the hell? Now it's good? Is it better now? It happened out of nowhere? Yeah, sorry. Properties. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Audio check. Oh, it does sound gainy. Yes, that's pissing me off quite a bit. I'm gonna be real. Yeah, that pisses me right off and shit. Shoot. Test 1, 2. Test, test, audio check. Audio check, test, test. Is this a little better? So I turned it up on the microphone itself and then down in the, because usually when it starts to sound like that, it's from my software. Because I need this to be at a certain level. Test 1, 2. Audio check. Woo! Oh no. No. Good? I mean, it sounds better than I guess it was, but I wouldn't consider this good. Hello? Test 1, 2. Oh, well now it's changed completely. It's gainy but bearable. Audio check. 1, 2. Oh. Test, test. Much better. Test, test. Okay. I'm sick of hearing myself. Turn this shit off. Okay. Have you tried turning it off and back on again? I don't know. I guess I just needed to turn it off and back on again. Okay. What the hell was that? Is it still quiet or is it good now? 1 if too quiet, 2 if good, please, in chat. Two. Okay. I just need to know because some people were still saying too quiet. Okay. All right, chat. You want to get back to killing the farmer and whatnot? I guess.
See object without compensation, whether they like it or not. If they object, they can seek refugee in America.
Now this is very bad. These are burial sites right here. Burial sites.
Bro, he turned around like, what the hell? Oh, he doesn't show it? Okay, wait a second. I have to find a news organization that shows it. Because this is Fox. Fox is just not showing the shit. So we have to, okay, wait. We see. They pulled it up. They pulled it up on the big screen. He said these are burial sites. Okay, let's take a look.
Compensation, whether they like it or not. If they object, they can seek refugee in America.
Now this.
No, he's pulling up a Twitter post.
Very bad. These are burial sites right here. Burial sites.
JD saw this on Twitter. Can you explain this? Now a president has to explain fucking Twitter posts? Oh man. So we saw this one on Twitter. Can you explain? This is a meme. Can you explain that? This meme is very real, isn't it, Cyril? These are burial sites. He thinks those are burial sites? Are you serious? Yo, look at her. She's like, damn. Burial sites? You might as well say they're like the Romans and they like crucify their victims on the sides of the road or something. Actually, every white cross, a white South African was actually crucified there. They actually crucify them and hang them on the side of the roads like ancient Rome. And when you walk by, you actually can throw rotten fruit at them. The fruit that you picked off of their farms, and then you throw it at them. You see. What? South African president disassociating. This is a Twitter post. Wait, what was the caption to the Twitter post? Because they only showed it for a second. Here we go. Who is this? Wait, even in the post it says each cross represents a white farmer who was murdered in South Africa. And Trump took that like white, because we do, just so you know, this isn't even like South African specific. We do this here in the States. Like if somebody dies in a car crash, like you guys have seen this on the side of the road, haven't you? Like the white cross with like their name on it, and maybe they put like some reefs. Like if you die on the side of the road, like if you like fall off the road and you hit it, you wrap your Toyota Camry around a tree, like they put a white cross there for you. Does he actually genuinely believe that each single cross is a burial site, is a grave to a white farmer across the road? When we can't even, I'm not sure if we can even get into the fact of whether or not this is even representative. It's just a Twitter post, and he was like, "Oh shit, genocide's crazy." Like he's so disconnected from the real world. He doesn't even know. Wait, has he passed that on the road while traveling? And he's like, shit, dude. Poor people bury each other anywhere, man. And this is saying something to it. You know what? I actually can't get on him. I actually can't get on him. You know why? It actually makes sense that he genuinely believes that these are burial sites, because he buried his ex-wife on his golf course. Like he teased off of his dead wife's corpse at one of his golf courses in New Jersey. So I can't even say like this doesn't make any sense. People don't do that, because he literally does it. Like he buried his wife at an unkempt grave on his golf course. Yeah. Wait, really? You didn't know that? Here, let me show you. Like the mother to Don Jr. and Eric and Ivanka is buried on his Bedminster golf course in an unkept grave, a barely marked unkept grave. He buried her like a slave on the golf course. Yeah, this is how his wife was buried. So this is how it. So yeah, this is how it was buried back when she back when she was back when she died in 22, right? But it's gotten overgrown and now it's unkept. So now grass is growing over the grave. It's like patchy, nasty, unkept. Like nobody take. Oh, whoops, sorry, I didn't pull it up for you here. Let me show you. See, there you go. This is how she was buried in this grave. In this little this is how a billionaire's wife is buried on a golf course, just so you know. Also, what's up Guitar Rocker? Hope you're not too late. Nah, nice to have you. This was her grave in 2022. Honestly, horrific looking. I'm gonna be real. This is how it looks now. You can actually walk over it without knowing that it's a gravesite. And he buried her there without the permission of her family. And her family now can't go see their dead relative's gravesite without getting a golf course ticket to get onto the golf, because this is on a golf course property. Poor families in my city have more beautiful graves. No shot. Yes, this is Ivana Trump's grave. This is Don Jr., Eric, and Ivanka Trump's mom. This is how he buried her. So it actually makes perfect sense that he would imagine an unkept grave on the shoulder of a road to be something that that people just do, I guess. Wasn't that against her express wishes? Against her and her family's express wishes. Her family can't even see her anymore without getting a golf course pass. Yeah. It's genuinely crazy, man. That's one of the craziest Trump stories, honestly, for me. Yeah, mother of his children, his living children, still alive. Yeah. Oof.
Now this is very bad. These are burial sites right here. Burial sites. Over 1,000.
Over 1,000 burials.
And those cars are lined up to pay love on a Sunday morning. Each one of those white things you see is a cross. And there's approximately 1,000 of them. They're all white farmers, the family of white farmers. And those cars aren't driving. They're stopped there to pay respects to their family member who's killed. And it's a terrible sight. I've never seen anything like it.
Or they're probably the ones who are just putting them up. That's actually so crazy. Wait, let's do a little look. Let's do a little research. I want to see. I'm trying to find an article about this. The Whitcuris movement. The Whitcuris movement. White Cross movement. Whitcuris movement. Because if this isn't specifically about white farmers, then now he's claiming that black people who have a cross put up for them dying are also white farmers. Because just so you know, the farm attacks are actually pretty even. And also a lot of black people work on a lot of those farms that have been attacked, and they also get attacked as well. Let's see. This is what we have on Wikipedia. Wicker's movement or Pasamorde movement is a movement. Is a monument. Sorry, a complex. This is just with other white crosses. I don't know where that specific area is on N1 route between these two areas in South Africa, conspicuously located on the slope. The private property. Since 2004, symbolic white painted metal crosses have been planted in the area, about 5 hectares for each death during the South African farm attack. The attacks have targeted both white and black farmers. Does he think only white people own farms in South Africa? That's my thing. That's what I want to know. Because I'm like 99% sure that's genuinely what he believes. Is that only white people own farms in South Africa. 925 of approximately the 3,000 white metal crosses on the slope are arranged in a striking pattern across of the Christian nature. About 20 red crosses on top of the movement. A monument represent local casualties in 2020 and 2022. Further monuments were placed at the foot of the crossfield. In 2025, Elon Musk posted a clip that falsely claimed that the crosses were graves of white farmers. He got it from Elon Musk. Elon's still spreading misinformation in the White House. That's where he got it from. And of course, Trump just believed it too. Okay. I was like, well, who thinks that they're actually graves? Of course, another fucking filthy rich bullshit dipshit genuinely thinks that those are graves. Of course. Of course, it actually makes perfect sense. One second. Just one moment. There's something I'm pulling up. Oh.
79 or somewhere there or something to that effect. I mean, they didn't mince words in those days. They said to me, he said to me, your son is retarded. We think your son is retarded. So I thought, oh, wow. I was glad he wasn't saying something else. Anyway, of course, I knew Elon wasn't retarded. So I said, well, why? Why do
That's from his dad. That's Elon's dad, just so you know. In 2004, farmers erected white crosses along the N1 to raise awareness about the farm murders. The road authority, however, objected and said it was best to move it further up the ridge. Okay. A number of those crosses grew from 2,500 in 2020 to 2,575 in 2022, and now just under 3,000 in 2023. One of them commemorates a well-known white supremacist and neo-Nazi Eugene Terreblanche. Hello? My bad. Is that Terra Blanche? Or is that Terra Blanche or Terra Blanc? I don't know. But it's so funny that he's a white supremacist and his last name is White. Terror White. We need a name for a white supremacist terrorist. How about Eugene Terror White? Terror Blanc. There you go. Perfect. It's just like how they came up with that guy who shot the United healthcare CEO. They came up with his name by trying to figure out Italian name with only having a copy of Luigi's Mansion in front of him. Who was murdered on his farm by two of his employees after an altercation over unpaid wages. Okay. Honestly, take his cross down. If this is how, wait, so if you're simply just a farmer and you die, you get a cross? Is that just it? So if you rob somebody and then get into like a deadly like altercation with them and then you fucking die, you get a cross anyways? Is that how that works? This means so much less to me now. Terblanche? That's his name? Okay. That is so remarkable.
Both sides of the road, you have crosses.
Graves.
Those people were all killed.
Have they told you where that is, Mr. President? No, I'd like to know where that is, because this I've never seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one specifically, but yeah, in the article, all the articles about like those crosses on the road, they're about like in a completely other, they're in a completely different place. Actually, let's dig a little bit further. Can you imagine if that place in that tweet isn't even in South Africa? Can you imagine that? Because it's very possible now that I'm thinking about it. I'm doing a little research. I'm looking to see if there's anything about this. If anybody's even found where this is. You're probably Detroit or something like that. Can you even imagine? That'd be so funny. That'd be hilarious, man. We know about the monument, but I'm not sure if there's like any other. I'm not even really because I'm on Google Images and I'm trying to find like a picture of where this place is, and I can't even find it yet. Okay, wait. I think this is something. No, this is just another post. But this is from 2020. I don't know. I'm on not. I don't know. Like there's a like the furthest back I've found so far has been a post on 9gag. And the comments are move back to Europe and let them play Wakanda until famine breaks out. Right, because black people don't even know what farming is. The reward for ending apartheid and giving black people rights, also building the entire country. The guy who made Star Wars is even here. He said, move to Europe and let the Negroids starve to death. Very interesting stuff. Very, very interesting stuff going on in 9gag, I will say. But I'm trying to find, I don't know if, I'm trying to find where like this is. I see a post by Ollie London. What? Sam Holdings takes all his car. Wait. What is this? Sam Holdings. I'm seeing something about Sam Holdings 72 car convoy. What is that? Chat, I'm kind of getting into. We're kind of getting deep into this. And this is from 2019, and it's a black person whose name's Sam Holding. But I'm not sure if this is even the right one in the right place. It's one guy who owns 72 cars, but I don't think this is the same thing. This doesn't seem like it's the same thing. There's a website named The Herald. Seems like it's South African. Jeffrey Bay crosses highlight deadly scourge of farm attacks. This is from 2020. This is 5 years ago at this point. Let's see. Wait, I gotta check this to make sure there's no oh, there's not even anything here. What the hell? I gotta sign in? Is reserved for subscribers? Oh. Search. Okay, let me see. I don't know, all of these are from Facebook. All the references to this issue are just Facebook posts. This does seem to be in South Africa. I don't know. All I have is all I have to go off of at the moment is this from whoops. Cancel. Is this from Google? The crosses are a prominent symbol used to honor and remember the victims of violence, particularly farmers. Recent event involved the erection of crosses to honor and support the farmers, specifically symbolic. I usually don't like to read this stuff, but this is honestly all I have. At the fisherman graveyard in Pelsris, Jeffreys Bay, dedicated to the early fishermen and their families. This cemetery and recently upgraded, included 155 crosses, a paved walkway, and information board. And then there's a Facebook group dedicated to it. Okay, let's take a look at the Facebook group. It's called Jeffrey Bay's Online. Jeffrey's Bay Online. What is AI? Can we trust it? I'm just saying that's all we have right now. I can't really find much else about this that isn't like a paid article or something. Because all the other stuff that I tried to pull up, it wouldn't pull up. About guides, media. What the hell is happening?
Good morning, dear friends, brothers and sisters in Christ. This morning we just want to introduce you to Martin Douglas. He's our brother that's going to be walking with a cross from his London to Jeffreys Bay. And this morning, it's Friday morning, the 7th of March, and Martin will be walking from here down to Jeffreys Bay, hoping to make it in time for the Mighty Men event that will be taking place on the 21st. So this morning I just want to ask Martin a couple of questions before they leave Kanubi. Martin, I just want to ask you this morning.
Oh, this is completely different. He's carrying another type of cross. This isn't even right. This is so hard to find. And you know, if I'm doing all this work to try to find anything about this, you know their asses haven't. I've been able to find this right now that this is near a graveyard and there are 155 crosses, not over 1,000 or whatever that like Trump said. Also, Rocket, thanks so much for the 10. Really appreciate you. Thanks for the 10. I really appreciate you. Thank you for the love. Hope you've been doing well. Yeah, nah, this ain't. I'm getting nothing.
A very good day. My name is Eugene Genis.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I can't find anything else. Hookies, I cannot find anything else about this. I'm sorry. So this does seem to be in Africa, South Africa. And this does seem to be related to farmers dying. But these are also of white and black farmers who were killed. And also, yeah, this is of white and black farmers who were killed. And also, there are only 155 of them. And there's only one article in the entire planet that was written about this, it seems. And is locked behind a paywall. Oh, you know what? Let me try to sign in. I'm going to try to make an account just for you guys to see if we can find, so just to see if we can like, just to see if we can read anything about this, because like, I'd like to know a little bit more about this, but like, there is not a single other article on the planet about this. And my ass is not reading YouTube. My ass is not reading Twitter posts to be able to find out about this. So it's almost all BS. It does almost all seem like to be bullshit, yeah. What's up, Rez? Nice to see you. What's good? What's good? I gotta do some real investigation here. I have to know. They want me to type in my number? Are you crazy? Actually, chat. Invalid number? What the fuck? I need a South African number? I'm trying. It keeps saying invalid number. Okay, no, I got in. I'm locked in. I got past it. Password. P poo poo. Okay. Confirm password. P poo poo. Okay. It needs at least one digit. P poo poo 1. Save, yeah. Thank you, Opera. Yeah, please save that password. That's really important to me. Don't want to lose that one. They're trying to get me to sign up to their fucking newsletter, man. Okay, let's see if they let me. No, I have to become a subscriber. I have to be a subscriber to be in? Really? Are you serious? Okay, how much is it? And will they use this money to kill the boer, the farmer? That's the really important thing. 69R? What the hell is that? Is that like South African ruble or something? I don't know. What the hell is South African money? Does anybody know? Rand? African Rand? South African Rands? I need to pay them 69 South African Rands? $4? Okay, I think I can do that. But will they use my $4 American to kill the farmer? This is kind of scaring me. 69 Red Bulls. Throwing your password up like that. Listen, it's just how it is. Seasonal Secrets, thank you so much for the gifted. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thanks for the love. Thank you. I'm trying my hardest here. Apply for a pensioner discount? Please just let me in. I'm not getting you. I can't even do with PayPal. Okay, this is a little too far. I don't know if I want to give this account my credit card number. I don't know if I want to give them my straight up. I got to give it to them raw too, naked. No other payment processor available. I got to give them my straight up card number. Like this is going a little too far. This is going a little too far. Unfortunately, I think I've had enough. I think this is going to hold me back, chat. I'm sorry. Please forgive. I'm not even sure if they take my money. I'm not sure if they even take South African Rand. Some of the pictures are here from the article, but not much else. Okay. Yeah, but what we know is that like one, it's not just white farmers. Two, there's like a little less than 200, not 1,000 there as well. So I don't know, we'll see. We'll see what Trump has to say about this. Let's get back to this. Sorry, chat.
I mean, it's in South Africa. That's
We need to find out.
He's still looking at it. Okay, let's get forward a little bit.
You to get out.
Jet to be used. Mr. President, the Pentagon announced that it would be accepting a Qatari jet to be used as Air Force One.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You know, you to get out of here. What does this have to do with the Qatari jet? They're giving the United States Air Force a jet, okay? And it's a great thing. We're talking about a lot of other things. It's NBC trying to get off the subject of what you just saw. You are a real, you're a terrible reporter. Number one, you don't have what it takes to be a reporter. You're not smart enough. But for you to go into a subject about a jet that was given to the United States Air Force, which is a very nice thing, they also gave $5.1 trillion worth of investment.
This shit is so funny how he baited him. He's still so baitable because he's like, we're supposed to be talking about something else here. Why would you bring this up? Anyways, they have given us a lot, and the jet, and money, and things are going great. And I'm really cool, actually. And also, I thought you just gonna bring it back. You can't.
In addition to this,
but let's get forward from his ranting.
Quiet. Thank you very much.
What would you like President Ramaphosa to do about the situation that we've just seen on the screen?
Your country is committing a genocide. What do you want him to do? I don't know. What? What do you mean you don't know? What? He's just like, damn, that sucks. And that's it? I thought he's not even gonna bring up like a point or like, I want you to do something about it. He doesn't even want him to do anything about it. It's just, I don't know. Really? I don't know. Maybe he loves bombing Palestinians, so maybe he's like, I don't know how to stop that either, man. I don't know. Israel is bombing Palestinian children. What do you want them to do? I don't know. Beats me. Not even stop the genocide. He's just like, I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Damn.
These are articles over the last few days.
He's just skipping over. I thought he was gonna be like, he doesn't even say stop. He's just like, I don't know. I have no clue. It's not even, he doesn't even tell him to make it stop. He's just like, this sucks, man. Don't you think? Genocide's crazy. Anyways, it's just like a genocide's crazy anyways. What? Damn, that's crazy. I'm flabbergasted. Who is this guy, man? Not even anybody around him has it. Wait, did they just tell him it was happening but didn't tell him how to feel yet? Does he need like somebody to tell him how to think about something before he's able to have an opinion? None of his dick riders told him how to feel yet. So he's like, man, I have no clue. JD Vance isn't even gonna lean over and be like, Mr. President, just tell him to make it stop. Tell him it's bad. Okay. Okay. All right, sure. Yeah, I got it. Okay, really? Okay, but how? Wait, he doesn't even know that guy was a opposition party leader, did he? He was just like some black guy says kill the boar. Do you even think he knows what boar is? Do you think he probably doesn't, does he? My guy has no clue what's going on. He is lost. He doesn't know that he brought up a political party leader. He doesn't know like what's happening. He doesn't even know how the farmers are dying. Does he think that Cyril is personally by hand killing the farmers himself, sneaking into their homes and killing them? He probably thinks they're actual boars. Wait, I'm 99% sure that when he heard kill the boar, kill the farmer, though in his mind he's like, they want to kill farmers like pigs. They want to hunt them like pigs. Like boars, you see. But they're not boars. They are farmers. They're beautiful people. You know, they have boars on their farms. All right, man. Ooh, Dementia Donnie going crazy.
Death of people. Death.
I can't show that.
Death
of people.
Horrible death.
Right. Why white South Africans are fleeing. Why white South Africans are fleeing surging violence and racist laws for new lives in America.
Death.
That wasn't death.
I don't know.
But you know that.
He just said, I don't know.
White South Africans are fleeing because of the violence and racist laws. And this is all, I mean, I'll give these to you. So when you say, what would I like to do? I don't know what to do. Look at this. White South Africans
I don't know.
Say that they were attacked violently.
President Trump, when will you go and see for yourself if it is indeed?
Well, I could do that. Look, here's burial sites all over the place. These are all white farmers that are being buried.
That's not even true either. Like, can you imagine, like, you're a black person, you have a farm, you die in South Africa, and then the white president in America just calls you white? They're all white now. Do you think he'll be flabbergasted to know that black people are dying in South Africa too? Dev, I don't even know. Dev.
He asks about a jet that was given. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You know, you are so bad. You're such a bad reporter. This is one after another. This family was wiped out. I'm just looking.
Can we get everyone?
What do you want me to do? I don't know. I'm just looking. He hasn't even asked him a question yet, but I guess, well, I can't even say he hasn't asked him a question because he has no clue what to ask him. He's just like, damn, that's crazy. I'm just looking. I'm just a watcher. I like to watch.
What's your reaction to those videos, Mr. President?
Well, I think the videos are so. No. When you look at the videos, I mean, how does it get worse? And these are people that are officials, and they're saying that kill the white farmer and take their land. That's what.
Oh, he knows. Wait, he knows they're an official.
South Africa, I have people that left. One in particular that says you can't go there. He said they want to take your land, they take your land, and they kill you.
Why didn't he just mention it's Elon? He's like, I know people who left South Africa. One in particular. Why didn't he just say Elon? You know, wait, chat. Do you guys remember when? Wait. You remember when Trump said that thing about Ozempic in the Oval Office? You remember that? Shit was hilarious. Because he was talking, I'm not 99. I'm 100% sure he was talking about Elon here too.
I mean, I'll tell you a story. A friend of mine who's a business.
Here we go.
I mean, I'll tell you a story. A friend of mine who's a businessman, very, very, very top guy. Most of you would have heard of him.
He's so orange.
A highly neurotic, brilliant businessman, seriously overweight, and he takes the fat shot drug.
He takes the fat shot. He takes the fucking fat shot drug. Highly neurotic. He takes the fat shot drug. Really overweight.
And he called me up, and he shot. He takes the fat shot drug. And he called me up, and he said, President, he calls me, he used to call me Donald, now he calls me President, so that's nice respect. But he's a rough guy, smart guy, very successful, very rich. I wouldn't even know how we would know this, but because he's got comments. Said, President, could I ask you a question? What? I'm in London, and I just paid for this damn fat drug I take. I said, it's not working. He said, I just paid $88. And in New York, I pay $1,300. What the hell is going on? I mean, I'll tell you a story. A friend of mine who's
really overweight. My guy. Okay, just so you know, Elon actually went to London not too long ago. I'm 100,000% sure he's talking about Elon here, calling him fucking overweight. Oh, I know for a fact he's talking about Elon here. I love him. Seriously overweight. Asking for a friend. He took the fat shot drug and it's not working. Wait. It's 56 and it's not working.
I just paid $88. And in New York, I pay $1,300. What the hell is going on? I mean, I'll tell you. I said, it's not working. And I just paid for this damn fat drug I take. I said, it's not working.
I love how he just randomly like quote tweets Elon constantly. Because we know he references him. But he just won't say his name for some reason. But he'll definitely reference him. Really neurotic, seriously overweight. He's taking the fat shot drug and it's not working.
Okay, and they say it's okay to do. Now, we're going to talk about it, but this is a tremendous, look, this is a story recent. These are all people that recently got killed.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it can get any worse.
I don't know how it can get any worse. I don't know how it can get any better. I don't know what to ask him what to do. Why are we bringing this up? He doesn't even know what's happening.
You saw the men that you saw, the people that you saw in that movie. Those are officials. Those are people that were in office. They had one march. They had a dance in your parliament, whatever you may call it, legislature.
Well, let me clarify that.
Yeah.
Let me clarify that, because what you saw, the speeches that were being made, one, that is not government policy. We have a multi-party democracy in South Africa that allows people to express themselves, political parties to adhere to various policies, and in many cases, or in some cases, those policies do not go along with government policy. Our government policy is completely against what he was saying, even in the parliament. And they're a small minority party, which is allowed to exist in terms of our constitution.
But you do allow them to take land.
No.
Allow them to take land? Yo, does he think like this party is like taking, they own like 80% of the farms and shit? You allow the parties taking land?
Do allow them to take land.
Nobody can
and then
take
when
land.
they take the land, they kill the white farmer. And when they kill the white farmer, nothing happens to them.
No,
nothing happens to them.
There is criminality in our country. People who do get killed, unfortunately, through criminal activity, are not only white people. Majority of them are black people. And we have now...
He's shaking his head. He's like, nah. I told you he'd be flabbergasted. He can't understand it. That black people own farms and get killed too.
White people. Majority of them are black people. And we have now utilized...
The farmers are not black. I don't say that's good or bad, but the farmers are not black. And the people that are being...
The farmers are black.
In large numbers. And you saw all those grave sites. And those are people that loved ones going, I guess on a Sunday morning, they told me, to pay...
And you know what is also the case here? Because a lot of this conversation revolves around talking about the farm owners, right? This is criminal activity against the farms themselves. Like those farms get raided, they have their equipment taken. Farm equipment's expensive. And that can be like parted out or just like completely resold. Most of the people who work on those farms are black people. And those people get attacked and killed. Are they farmers or do they not matter in the situation at all? Does that matter? Like those people who get killed? Or is it only some of the white people who own some of those farms? Are those the only people who matter in this situation? Because I think to Trump, those are the only people that matter here. Yeah.
Respect to their loved ones that were killed, their heads chopped off, they died violently, and
yeah, of course they don't matter if they're black.
About it, and I didn't know we'd get involved here, but I will say this: that if the news wasn't fake, like NBC, which is fake news, totally one of the worst, ABC, NBC, CBS, horrible. But if they weren't fake news like this jerk. If we had real reporters, they'd be covering it. But the fake news and
screw you, jerk.
Talk about that. They don't want to talk about it, but now they have to talk about it. But they won't. This won't even be a subject. They'll have him talking about why did a country give a free think of this? Why did a country give an airplane to the United States Air Force? Okay.
He's really pissed off that people don't like him violating the Constitution.
So they could help us out because we need an Air Force One until that's Air Force One. It's being built. 2 of them being built. But Boeing's a little bit late, unfortunately. So why did they give us a plane to the United States Air Force? That's what that idiot...
You know what? We're right. He's right. We should put Trump on a Boeing plane. I think so. What do you think, chat? I think we should drop his ass on a Boeing plane. They're one of the best planes in the world.
Talks about after viewing a thing where thousands of people are dead.
I'm sorry.
Thousands.
Plane to give you.
I wish you did. Okay.
I don't have a plane to give you. Why? I wish you did. I want a plane. Give me a plane. Is this just going to be what's going to happen? Is that like countries are going to just start gifting Trump planes and he's just going to bend over backwards for them? Wait, if he gave them a plane, do you think that Trump would change his mind on the South African? He would deport the white South Africans who came? I think if the plane was cool enough, he might.
I would take it. If your country offered the United States Air Force a plane, I would take it.
Okay. But coming back to this issue, which I really would like us to talk about, and talk about it very calmly. We were taught by Nelson Mandela that whenever there are problems, people need to sit down around a table and
I'd let you bribe me.
And this is precisely what we would also like to talk about, including, of course, trade matters, investment matters. So the issues that concern you as the United States.
Those are all those are all deaths.
Yeah, in many ways, I mean, one should say you are a partner of South Africa, and you are raising concerns, and these are concerns that we are willing to talk to you about. Let me just add quickly, you know, the criminality that we are experiencing in our country needs quite a lot of technological capability. And in one of our areas in South Africa, we're using US technology, which is able to, in many ways, identify where shootings are happening and all that. And I'd like to talk about that because there is support that we can get from you as the United States to help us deal with all these acts of criminality. And that is what I believe partnership is all about. And we are here as a partner so that we can help each other whenever there are challenges. So I'd like us to discuss it, and of course outside of the media, so that we sit down and have a really good discussion that will lead to good outcomes.
Are there any other punitive measures that could be in place should you not be satisfied that South Africa is fixing some of the very bad things in the comments that you tweeted are happening?
Well, there are a lot of bad things happening in many countries, but this in particular has been very, very bad, and because of we're going to have the whole world watching in another short period of time because you have the G20, and that's a big deal, and it seems like. I mean, I want you to look good. I don't want you to look bad.
Very good.
But we have hundreds of people, thousands of people trying to come into our country because they feel they're going to be killed and their land is going to be confiscated. And you do have laws that were passed that gives you the right to confiscate land for no payment. You can take away land for no payment.
I want to clarify that because we have a constitution. Our constitution guarantees and protects the sanctity of tenure of land ownership. And that constitution protects all South Africans with regard to land ownership. However, we do say, because we've got to deal with the past, the government, and as your government also has the right to expropriate land for public use.
And you're doing that.
And we've never really gotten underway with that. And we are going to be doing so.
You're taking people's land away
we have not.
From them. And those people, in many cases, are being executed. They're being
I have no clue what he thinks is going on. The government is taking, so he's like, the government can take land. Okay, most governments have like some sort of mechanism to seize land from civilians, okay? But also that they're being executed. Does he think that Cyril himself is executing farmers? Like he's taking their land and executing them on the spot? I spaced out what I missed. I don't know. This feels like white supremacist rhetoric from Trump. It is white supremacist rhetoric from Trump. And it makes sense that JD Vance and all them put him, and I mean, Stephen Miller is in this room right now. It makes sense that all of them all of them got him on this bullshit, and Elon Musk too, because like a lot of them are they're racist and white supremacists. Yeah. So it makes perfect sense why they would think this. I mean, the idea that South African, white South African farmers are specifically being systematically taken out by like the government or even by like, or just white people in general are completely under siege in South Africa, and have no way of like defending themselves or something, or in any way subject to anything that can even be classified as a genocide is ridiculous and white supremacist talking. It's been a white supremacist talking point ever since the apartheid was lifted in the country. So I mean, this isn't surprising, but yes, he is regurgitating white supremacist talking points. Yeah, I mean, it's not really surprising though.
Being executed, and they happen to be white, and most of them happen to be farmers, and that's a tough situation.
Okay, but being killed and happening to be white and happening to be farmers is not genocide. Like, you just happening to die and being white and a farmer is not the same as being systematically eradicated. Like, I'm not even sure if he knows what's going on. He's just mad.
I don't know.
He's just stupid and mad.
How do you explain that? They're taking people's land away, and in many cases, those people are being executed, and in many cases, it's not the government that's doing it. It's people that kill them and then take their land, and nothing happens to them. But we have thousands of people that want to come into our country. They're also going to Australia in a smaller number. But we have thousands of people that want to come into our country, and they're white farmers, and they feel that they're going to die in South Africa, and it's a bad thing. Yeah.
What can South Africa do? What can...
So I'm guessing that he's threatening South Africa with, like, when he's at the G20 to say that we need to stop South Africa from killing all the white people or something. He's going to get laughed at again.
Would you like to see them make to improve relations with the United States? Then I have one more for President Ramaphosa afterwards.
Well, you know, we just spoke about, I got them a very, very complex machine, 150 of them. I was asked by the president if it could help, and I did that. And, you know, I have great feeling for all countries. I deal with all countries, but I have a great feeling for South Africa because I have friends. I have a couple of friends, a few friends here today. I have many friends from South Africa, but many of those friends are not, they can't go back. I have, Elon is from South Africa. I don't want to get Elon involved. That's all I have to do, get him into another thing. But Elon happens to be from South Africa.
Wow, really?
That's what Elon wanted. He actually came here on a different subject, sending rockets to Mars, okay? Yes. He likes that better. He likes that subject better. That's right. But Elon is from South Africa, and I don't want to talk to him about that. I don't think it's fair to him. That's right. But I will say that people are fleeing South Africa for their own safety. Their land is being confiscated, and in many cases, they're being killed. And that scene of, you see how many crosses they have. Those crosses, that's a dead person in every one of them. And those trucks.
In the cross? Holy shit. What did they do? They they just shove them in? That's so disrespectful. Can you imagine white people hanging in the crosses, they stuff them inside. Fuck. Filled with milk. Each one of those crosses filled with milk. God damn.
So cars are paying their respects to all of those dead people on a Sunday morning. That's a rough thing to explain away. And the problem we have, and the way, you know, a correct and a fair media exposes things. But we have a very corrupt media. They won't even report this. If this were the other way around, it would be the biggest story. Now, I will say apartheid, terrible. That was...
You know what? That's actually untrue because Africa treats Ethiopians quite poorly. And they don't really talk about that, do they?
The biggest story. That was reported all the time. And this is sort of the opposite of apartheid. What's happening now is never reported. Nobody knows about it. All we know is we're being inundated with people, with white farmers from South Africa, and it's a big problem. Marco Rubio was telling me he's never seen anything like it. The numbers of people that want to leave South Africa because they feel they're going to be dead very soon. Yes, please.
I was going to say,
Brian, go.
If I could just ask you a question. 72% of farmers in your country are white. If they flee, do you feel that maybe the economy could collapse? You may not have a gap to fill in those people that need to replace those farmers.
You know what's super interesting is that it's 72%, which is high, but like not as high as a lot of these people are trying to make it out to seem. Like 72% is really not like that big. It's not like, if it was like 80% or 90%, that's like something different. But like 70, low 70s are farmers is like, It's nowhere near as large as a lot of people think. So like if a farmer is attacked, 3 out of 10 times they're black, actually.
You know, I'd like my Minister of Agriculture, who is white, who comes from an opposition party to mine, who's joined my government at my invitation to address this very issue, including the question that you've just raised. John?
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Yeah.
Mr. President, thank you for welcoming us to the White House. I would say we have a rural safety problem in South Africa. I don't think anyone wants to candy coat that. And it requires a lot of effort to get on top of it. It's going to require more policing resources. It's going to require a different strategy to be able to deal with it. But certainly the majority of South Africa's commercial and smallholder farmers really do want to stay in South Africa and make it work. And I've just come from the largest agricultural show in the Southern Hemisphere with organized agriculture and farmers, and the majority of them want to stay. But they too there have a memorial to those who've died as a result of farm attacks. And as the Minister of Agriculture, it is something that I'm particularly exercised with my colleagues at police and my colleagues in the justice cluster to start making farm attacks and stock theft a priority crime. And it affects all farmers in South Africa, particularly stock theft. It has a disproportionate effect on smallholder black farmers. I also want to just say this, that the 2 individuals that are in that video that you've seen are both leaders of opposition minority parties in South Africa, in Mkhonto weSizwe under Mr. Zuma and the economic freedom fighters under Mr. Malema. Now, the reason that my party, the Democratic Alliance, which has been an opposition party for over 30 years, chose to join hands with Mr. Ramaphosa's party was precisely to keep those people out of power. We cannot have those people sitting in the union buildings making decisions. And that is why after 30 years of us exchanging barbs across the floor in Parliament and trying to get one over on each other, we've decided to join hands precisely to keep that lot out of government. Because the day...
Wait, Elon's in the room? Did you guys know that? 29:39. Oh, there he is. Yeah, I had no clue. He's in the room. That shit is so funny. What the hell is he doing there? I was trying to pull something up really quick, and I was trying to pull up something up really quick, and I thought it was really interesting. And I just saw a clip of Elon standing in the room where this is happening. I didn't even know he was there. That's actually really funny.
That are in that video that you've seen are both leaders of opposition minority parties in South Africa, in Mkhonto weSizwe under Mr. Zuma and the economic freedom fighters under Mr. Malema. Now, the reason that my party, the Democratic Alliance, which has been an opposition party for over 30 years, chose to join hands with Mr. Ramaphosa's party was precisely to keep those people out of power. We cannot have those people sitting in the union buildings making decisions. And that is why after 30 years of us exchanging barbs across the floor in Parliament and trying to get one over on each other, we've decided to join hands precisely to keep that lot out of government. Because the day they get in to the doors of the union buildings in South Africa or control of our parliament, that's what you're going to see. And that is why this government, working together, needs the support of our allies around the world so that we can strengthen our hand, grow our economy, and shut the door forever on that rabble getting through the doors of the union buildings, because then South Africa's future would be...
So you denounced that type of language in the video that you saw?
Oh, yes. We've always done so. As government, as my own party, we are completely opposed to that. we, in 1955, adopted a document which said South Africa belongs to all who live in it.
But why wouldn't you arrest that man? That man said, kill the white farmers, kill the white farmers. And then he danced, and he's dancing.
He do be dancing.
Kill the white farmers. I'm not sure, but I think if somebody got up in Parliament and started saying, kill a certain group of people, he would be arrested very quickly. That man is going all over South Africa, and that's not a small party. That was a stadium that holds 100,000 people, and I hardly saw an empty seat. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of representation. And those crosses, we have dead white people, dead white farmers, mostly. And you take a look at Australia, they're being inundated, and we're being inundated with people that want to get out. And their farm is valueless. It's valueless. And they just want to get out with their life. And this is a very serious situation. And if we had a real news or real press or media, we don't have that because they won't talk about this because they're all guys like that idiot. But if we had a real press, it would be exposed. And you know, the beauty of exposing it is it's like a cleansing action. When it gets exposed, it'll get fixed. That's when it'll get fixed. But people don't talk about it. And I'll tell you who's talking about the thousands of people that are fleeing South Africa right now.
I don't even think we have thousands of people leaving South Africa. So Trump specifically let in 50. That's 50. Are you saying there's like 5,000 or something? 2,000, 3,000 out of like 50? Or they were like 3,000 who tried to get in and he only let in 50. It's like the other ones he let burn or something. I don't know. Like it just seems super weird. I don't know.
We discussed USAID and the devastating impact the cuts are having across the African continent.
You know, it's devastating, and hopefully a lot of people are going to start spending a lot of money. And I've talked to other nations. We want them to chip in and spend money too. And we've spent a lot, and it's a tremendous problem going on in many countries. A lot of problems going on. The United States always gets the request for money. Nobody else helps, as you know. Europe doesn't help. Europe hasn't given anything. All they do is sue our companies. You know, they sue Apple, and they sue all of our companies. Apple had to pay $17 billion on a nonsense lawsuit. Very unfair. But we're going to always be there to help.
South African broadcasting, if this Afrikaner resettlement issue is resolved, you're going to go into a room after this, you guys are going to talk. If it is resolved, what is the potential for the future-looking relationships between the United States?
It's got to be resolved. It should be resolved. It's
so crazy
when you see a stadium with 100,000 people in it, because that means it's more than just a little movement. It's a pretty big movement in South Africa, so it has to be resolved. It'll be the end of the country if it's not.
But is there potential for the relationship moving forward?
I hope so. That's why I'm here. I mean, I'm not here for my health. I'm here to see what it is. No, I'd like to see. I have friends. I can tell you, Ernie Els and Retief Goosen, they feel so strongly they wanted to be here on behalf of South Africa, not on behalf of me. Yes. And, you know, they said, can we be here for this? Because they love the country. Ernie, do you guys want to say a couple of words or anything? I hate to put you in this. This is tougher than sinking a 3-footer.
What is happening?
And they've sank many 3-footers.
Thank you, Mr. President. And thanks for the honor of being here.
It's a little quiet.
So a long time. We have spoken. You know, we're proud South Africans. I still have my South African passport. We've traveled with this passport, you know, and I got my visa here. So, you know, but we want to see.
You can't stop insulting that one journalist. He's really angry that he asked him about the plane. He's still seething.
Things get better in our home country. That's the bottom line. It's been 35 years since the transition. President Ramaphosa was right in the middle of the transition time in 1990 and before that. So it's been 35 years of ANC government. And I know there's a lot of anger, you know, through the transition. There's also a lot of stuff happening in the apartheid days. You know, we grew up in the apartheid era. But I don't think two wrongs makes a right. You know, President Mandela, when he came out of prison for all that time, didn't come out with hatred, you know, and really unified our nation through sport. You know, we won the Rugby World Cup in '95. 4 times. We won the African Nations Cup, soccer. You know, we won some majors as golfers and so forth. So what I'm trying to say is, you know, this has been a long time coming. That's why we really wanted to meet you, meet the administration, and see our way forward, because we still want to see our country flourish. You know, we've got some great things going on. Business is getting involved with government. Farmers are getting involved in local municipalities, trying to rebuild some of the infrastructure that's been decaying for a long time. So there's a lot of coexistence going on and help from a lot of areas. But I feel we need the US to push this thing through. We've got a great ally. We can have the US. It's always been an ally of South Africa for a very long time. Even in the days of the war, you know, up in Angola, you know, you guys helped us. So very important for us to have your support and you know, get the change we need.
When did you do that well?
Very nice.
Let's go.
Youth League with that gentleman, and look how he's changed.
This is a businessman from South Africa.
We have too many deaths, but it's across the board. It's not only white farmers, it's across the board. And we need technological help. We need Starlink at every little police station. We need drones. I actually got drones donated for the peace parks to stop elephant and rhino poaching. And his predecessor stopped the importation because he said the United States would spy on us. I mean, US SpaceX is the ridicule. So if you can help us. Remember, sir, you and I lived in New York in the 70s. We never thought New York could be what it became. 2 commissioners, a tough mayor. We need your help to stop this awful killing.
To be what it became? Dude, New York has less crime now than it did like at any other point in time when it's been a city. I don't know. I always think this is just so funny because our new report came out not too long ago. I wanted to go over it sometime. But in almost every single major city from 2001 to 2024, crime has dropped. Crime is at the lowest level it's been in a really long time. It's at the lowest level now that I think it's been since the pandemic. The plandemic, I'm quite sure. So things are going pretty well right now, especially in New York. New York has a lower crime rate than all those southern all those like God-fearing southern states. I do know that. I'd much rather live in New York. Well, I wouldn't say much rather. I'd rather live in New York than those deep southern states. I'll tell you that much.
He's right now building a house in George. I'm building 3 cottages for my grandchildren on a farm outside Graafrenet. I often go to bed without locking the door. And we have a serious problem with illegal aliens who stream across the border. And if you really look at our statistics, a lot of these murders, firstly it's unemployment and illegal aliens. And then I met Vice President Watts.
Oh, did he come here to blame migrants on all the crime? Aw, man. Is that how they're gonna try and reach Trump? They're like, you have an illegal alien problem too, just like us. So help us crush the immigrants too, brother. Please, we need you. Okay. Is that how they're gonna try and win him over? Did they plan this? Beautiful.
Go to Charlie Rhodes show. My wife loved the book. And she reminded me this morning that you emphasized the devastation that occurs when big companies leave towns and cities, and there's a culture of dependency that develops.
Right. Okay. Let's get forward a little bit.
So that we can preserve the number of jobs.
He wouldn't do it. He wouldn't even want to do what you're doing, right? They love farming. They don't want to leave. But it's a struggle.
Yeah, and food and fresh water is the most important thing in life. Without those two things, you've got to buy.
How is the water there?
The water's great, obviously.
How's the water?
A borehole out of ground for us down there. But yeah, it is a battle to get the water out sometimes when all the equipment gets stolen all the time that you're trying to get
So
water
does your family and your brother, do they feel safe on the farm?
They live behind electric fences, try and be at night safe. But it is constant whenever you leave that something could happen. And
there's nowhere to live.
Both of them has been attacked in their houses. My mom's been attacked in her house when she was 80. So it is
more than one.
You know what he really should have done? He should have brought. He didn't bring any black farmers here. You know what's really? That's like. He can't even. He knows what was going to happen. That he was going to get jumped. That it was going to be like, come out, we won't jump you. But he didn't bring a single black farmer to talk about this issue with his delegation. While he was getting attacked here. And I know what the idea was to have the white people come and be like, it's not just us, guys. But like having a black person there to talk about what's happened to like black farmers too would also be great. That is a farmer issue. And it's just mostly a crime issue. Like just so you know, if you guys didn't know, one of the reasons why farmers specifically are attacked is because they have a lot of expensive equipment and they live in the middle of buttfuck nowhere. So it's really difficult for cops to be able to defend them. And they have and so you can pull up in a Toyota Tacoma with a bunch of machine guns and you could probably get whatever you want. And you can make your leave with, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of equipment without much issue. And if there is some issue, then you could just bring a couple guys and you'll probably be all right. I mean, it's just like something that they're just easy pickings in South Africa, and in a lot of places in the world too. It just happened to be that most people who own farms in South Africa are white for obvious apartheid reasons, and so obviously they're more likely to be a victim if you own a farm as a farm owner, because more black people don't own as many farms. But when it comes to people who are harmed on farms during farm raids, it's mostly black people, because mostly black people work on farms. And so it's a crime issue, it's a poverty issue, it's a whole bunch of issues. But now it's turned into a white supremacist calling card because they have nothing better to do with their lives. Did you guys see that Piers Morgan has started to change a little bit? He started to change his tone on Israel, which is huge, actually, because it used to be way more on the side of defending Israel a lot more, and things have changed. Things have changed recently. Apparently, he's starting to change his tune. Take a look at this.
Mehdi, welcome back to Uncensored. Listen, you and I have talked about this war in Gaza for ever since.
It's hard to call it a war when it's just one person bombing another person.
And I have resisted going as far as you have done in your criticism of the Israeli government. I resist no more. I think we've reached common ground about what we view is happening and has been happening through this period of this blockade, which frankly is just starvation of the people there, including so many innocent young women and children. And I think that the incessant bombing and killing, and we don't know how many civilians have been killed, but it is on a daily basis. It looks like hundreds of people every day, with no apparent attempt, it seems to me, to have any real plan for how this ends or what happens when it ends, other than if you look at what Smodrich has been saying, probably the most right-wing member of a very right-wing government, he is talking in a genocidal language about kicking all the Palestinians out. So I think you and I have reached a place in the last few weeks where we are in agreement. But my question for you, Mehdi, is how does this end?
I don't know the answer to that question, Piers, and I'm glad we're in agreement. I wish we weren't. Actually, I wish I had been wrong and you were right. I wish that a year ago when I said on your show, you said, well, if it's not about the hostages, what's it about? And I said, it's about depopulating Gaza. It's about conquering Gaza. I wish I'd been wrong. But as you said, Bezalel Smotrich, the finance minister in the Israeli government, said this week, we are there to conquer, cleanse, and remain. Those are his words. We are disassembling Gaza, he said.
Yeah, and then Yahoo also said he wants the final thing in this conflict to be controlling Gaza and the West Bank. So that's definitely what's been happening. He said that recently. So this isn't like the like all of the Israel Glazers who apparently just want to deny the fact that Israel is a genocidal maniac country. I've just been proven wrong over and over and over again about this issue. They just want to kill and conquer Palestinians, and that's just kind of it. They always have. I mean, when you look at like Israel and Netanyahu and how they describe the country of Israel, it includes the West Bank and Gaza. That's not Israel's internationally recognized borders. He believes that they should own those areas, and he wants to manifest it. And so he's looking for any reason he can to finally like either kill or relocate, ethnically cleanse or genocide these people from that land so Israel can own it permanently. Why the spike in clarity recently among some? Israel at the moment, since Trump has been in office, has gone back to their route of starvation when it comes to the Palestinian population in Gaza. They finally completely cut off all aid. During Biden's presidency, they were trickling in aid. They would be hampering aid. When Trump got into office, they fully stopped aid going into the country, going into the Gaza Strip, completely, 100%, just completely just cut it off. They haven't been doing it any. And so like, and also the bombing has gotten worse. Israel's been killing hundreds of people every single day. So beforehand, you could be, well, food's getting in. Well, there's some fighting back. It's just been going on for so long that you just kind of get tired. And it's a lot harder to defend over time. And I think it's not really clarity. It's mostly the fact that there aren't that many defenses left that Israel can put up. And Israel, since they've been able to do basically whatever they want, has been able to just say with their chest that, yeah, we want to kill all these people, and yeah, we want to occupy this entire territory, and yeah, we want to either kick them out or kill them. And Trump himself has been like, yeah, we want to kick all those people out, send them to like Lebanon or Egypt, and so we can put like, so I can put like Trump Tower on like the coast of the Mediterranean. And so I wouldn't say it's clarity. It's more of excuses become less and less, to the point where all you really have left is to understand and agree with the fact that Israel is doing has been true the entire time. Really. So it's less of them becoming better and it's less of them becoming better and more of them, not having as many excuses to ignore what Israel is doing anymore. Yeah, Israel also broke the ceasefire, and I think that was also the final straw. The fake ceasefire that wasn't even like a real ceasefire, Israel specifically broke. Oh, and on top of that as well, I'm dropping things, sorry. Also on top of that, remember how Donald Trump got back the last US citizen hostage as well? He actually made a deal behind Israel's back to be able to get that person back, and he made an agreement with Hamas to have that happen. The only problem was Trump didn't hold up his end of the bargain. Hamas actually trusted Donald Trump, and which is so crazy because terrorists, like, if you have to choose between making a deal with Trump or terrorists, honestly, Trump is the worst deal, because like Hamas was actually taken advantage of by Trump. And he made a deal to help to like, give me these people back and I'll help aid get in. I'll like have I'll have Israel like work on lessening the bombings on civilians. And Hamas was like, okay. And then he took the hostage back and then told Israel they can do what they want. So he actually is less trustworthy than actual terrorists, which is really funny and horrific at the same time. So it's just like, it was that as well. Like the world population was watching that on top. So it's deals made with the United States cannot be trusted in this conflict. So the United States can't be trusted to fix this issue. Israel wants to break the ceasefire and kill all these people, and they can't be trusted to stop this, to fix this issue. It's just you can't really lean on anything anymore, and a lot of people around the world have just slowly, and also the breaking point of the amount of people who care and who don't trust Israel anymore has gotten to like a critical mass to where you just can't. It's not as financially and politically efficacious anymore to just allow Israel to do whatever it wants and allow and to be on the side of Israel no matter what. It's just it was like an easy win to just be like, oh yeah, we should kill as many Muslims as humanly possible. And that was just like an okay take for leaders around the world. It's no longer like that anymore. It's way more difficult to be able to say that now. And so obviously what comes after that is being less for allowing Israel to do whatever it wants, because now the path of least resistance is being against Israel's genocide. Yeah. So that's basically it.
We are leaving it as piles of rubble. He says, we're doing something that no one's done in the world before. He bragged out loud, and he said, yes, the Gazans will have to leave. So all of those things are stuff some of us were saying last year. I wish we hadn't been vindicated in this horrific way. The killing is ongoing. The starvation is ongoing. And look, I do hope that a dam is bursting. You mentioned the genocide word. Shmuel Lederman, who is an Israeli researcher of genocide, spent much of 2024 saying it's not a genocide, it's not a genocide. He was interviewed by a Dutch newspaper last week. He said, I've changed my position. It is a genocide. He said, in my field, there's a consensus among genocide scholars that it's a genocide. In fact, that Dutch newspaper interviewed 7 leading scholars of genocide. Every single one said, we think what's happening in Gaza is a genocide. In fact, this week, Piers, you have an Israeli former general, Yair Golan, saying a sane country does not attack civilians, does not...
Also, a former Israeli official also came out and said that that they should start killing Gazan like babies too. He said even babies should be shot in the head in Gaza. Yeah. Really horrific stuff.
Kill babies as a hobby and does not expel civilian populations. That is Yair Golan, the former deputy chief of the Israeli military, prominent Israeli politician. He was a hero on October the 7th, fought Hamas himself on October the 7th. This is what he said this week.
Yeah, pretty bad stuff. That's Israelis for you. Yeah. I mean, that's why Biden was like, yo, Netanyahu, you gotta start killing these people faster, because at some point, like, you killing these people is gonna catch up to you, and people are gonna start to find it more difficult to defend you. I won't be able to defend you all the time. You gotta start killing them faster, bro. We won't always be able to defend you. That time has come. It just happened to come while he was already out of office. Israel and Russia are both fighting to be the most evil imperialist. Israel is 100% winning. Like Russia is like a horrific terrorist supporting genocidal imperialist freaks, but like Israel is winning on like the evil front. I'm gonna be honest. At this moment, they're definitely winning on the evil front. Yeah, it's harder for Russia to be as bad because like Ukraine can fight back. Ukraine can fight back, like at least fight back a decent amount. Gaza cannot fight back. They just simply die. Yo, chat, do you wanna get back to playing some Helldivers? People have said Helldivers has started to pop off again. We gotta check it out. I think we should check it out sometime. Yeah, we have to protect Super Earth and whatnot. I'm thinking about it. Okay, I need to call it here today. At least for now. I might come back later, but I'm not sure. I have to call it here today because we have to go to the gym. I have to go pick up the girly. I have to go pick up the GF. Okay. So also, do you think I should watch the content? Oh no. You think I should watch the content deputy? What do you think? My girlfriend's calling me. Okay. That's over with now. Peak. Okay. I'll have to come back and talk about some more stuff. There's some more stuff that I want to talk about. I thought that was really interesting. That South African talk was that South African meeting was insane, dude. The white supremacists are really in the White House, huh? They're making themselves real cozy. All right, I will have to pick up the GF. So I am going to have to get out of here. I think now is like, because she's off at 5:15. I gotta go drive and pick her up. Cringe, am I right? We have more stuff to get to though. Kash Patel, who's the guy who's the leader of the FBI right now. I'm not sure if you guys saw, but bro is in trouble. He's in trouble because his ass is not releasing the Epstein files. He came out and he was like, he said I looked at all the papers. Epstein killed himself, and I'm 100% not releasing any more papers on this shit at all. Period. And I was like, oh, I wonder why. He was so up to doing it before he got into office, and the second he got in, he's like, guys, I think we need to keep this shut. I wonder what he saw. There are reports that the US is preparing to help Israel attack Iran. Okay. Yep. I'm glad I came back during the downtime of politics. This is this is very interesting stuff. Okay, chat. I love you all. We have to get back to all of this stuff. We might get back and do a little bit of stuff, a little bit of talking and maybe some gaming later tonight. And tomorrow we'll have to talk about some more of this stuff. Should have a segment or two for you all. So, and then we should get back to uploading videos, which would be really fun. I miss uploading videos. It's been a little while. When's the next stream? Tomorrow. Either tomorrow and later tonight, or just tomorrow. It depends on how long it takes for us to be at the gym, because we got to go to the gym. Girlie's on a workout schedule now, so as it is. But I love you all. Thank you much for being here, and I hope to see you again on another meme stream. Take care.